Warning. This show contains content intended for adult audiences. The language is crass at best and downright insulting most of the time. This is all made for the sake of comedy and poor sophomoric taste. The skits are parodies, and any similarity to real people or stories is purely coincidental. Any insults hurled at any one human is made in jest. We're just covering our bases for when one of you skins your knee on an internet insult. We love you. Again, this is all a joke, whether you laugh or not. Not just the show, but this waking existence. The great cosmic giggle. Try not to take it seriously.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo. Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and sentient artificial intelligence. Join us on this journey to find the others. Because no matter where we find ourselves in this multiverse, the act of existing is all too familiar.
Guys? Is anybody out there? Hello?
The mushroom has a tremendous problem-solving ability.
Herb is a plant. Herbs are good for everything.
As we look across this great expanse and stare at the stars, we can't help but be reminded these lights, though we're seeing them all at the same time, happen across a multi-billion-year delta. Some of those fires burned millions of years ago, some billions, but all of them happened so we could experience them in this one singular moment.
They called us scouts. They called us seekers. They called us Hoosiers. But we were destined.
Whoa! Ruh-roh! Steve messed it up.
Where's Mike?
Steve's hitting buttons. We're late anyway. They've seen the fucking open.
We're gonna do it again. Now we're just happing with you.
Well, hey, guys.
Hey,
what's happening? What's
Hey,
happening?
guys,
What's happening? Thursdays is the
What's
show.
What's going on? We're not late. You guys are late. Why'd you guys show up late?
Want to grab that little guy over there and I'll put my phone in it?
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
I do want to grab.
it's been a day. It's been crazy. Good evening to Hippie Don on Twitch. He's watching on Twitch.
Oh, Hippie Don on
This
Twitch.
would be great in Omnimax. It sure would be great in Omnimax.
No doubt.
You know what? If you know anybody at Science Center that's in charge of that kind of stuff, you know, maybe help a couple guys out. We'll take them on a little journey. Jailhouse gets empty. Rudy gets plenty. The baton stick gets shorter. And Rudy gets taller. Can't fight against the youth. 'Cause we're strong in the rude people. Can't fight against the youth. 'Cause we're
we're strong in the rude people. Now when I was a youth in 1983 was the best day of my life. I had the 89 vision. We didn't fuss and no fight. When all the little daughters wanna be my wife, when their vision, it was playing on my guitar, on my guitar. I had to be there, I had to be there, I had to be there, I had to be there. Oh, the rhythm playing, and I knew that I wanna be there, yeah. Oh, God will be singing there, and Eric Wilson will be jamming up there, yeah. Oh, we'll be all singing with Virgin, the Virgin, reggae Virgin, 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 oh. Can't fight against the youth, 'cause we're strong in the rude people. Can't fight against the resistance, no, right now in the rude people. Can't fight against the youth, no, 'cause we're strong in the rude people. Jailhouse gets empty, Rudy gets plenty. Bottoms it gets shorter, and Rudy gets taller, taller, taller. Can't fight against the youth, oh, right now. Them rude people. Can't fight against the resistance, no, right now. Them rude people, people. Can't fight against the youth. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna. Rama 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 Krishna, Krishna Rama. Hare Krishna, no Rama. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama.
We're bright.
We are.
We're
bright.
We're bright, dude. We're
Lots
like-
happening, dude. Lots happening.
We're like two
Lots
ghosts.
happening.
We're like two
There's a
specters.
lot happening. There's stuff. There's things. There's things going on.
We're specters.
Steve is the throat goat. Listen.
How dare you?
I think it comes from a loving place. Oh, put that on. Get it nice
put
and
that on
red
there?
in here. Maybe put your new little page boy.
Oh yeah, right, dude. I ain't risking that bursting into flames, dude.
Oh, let's have some fun tonight. What do you say? Careful with them hooks on that thing.
I gotta knock this thing
You
down.
very well could. That thing was not union
That's
hung.
unstable.
That was not,
That's
dude.
not
I remember
stable.
one time I was at a freaking trade show. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient, artificial intelligence, flora, fauna, fungi alike, to the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. Thursday nights is the show. That's much better. You're a genius. One time I was at a trade show in Vegas, setting up a bunch of limos on the showroom floor at the Paris casino hotel, and I may have told the story before, but this was, I was running real hard and fast back in those days. But early 20s, making more money than I should have been, surrounded by a very affluent and also active party drug scene.
Yuck.
But I remember, so one of the things that I've always tried to bring to the table, we've talked about this before, figure out where you can add a little value.
Mike, we need you, dude.
Figure out where we can add a little value. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's something I can do to improve what my company's doing, even if I'm not necessarily getting paid for it, I want to be a guy. I want to collect skills. I want to collect skills, and I want to be a guy that like, hey, we need somebody. I want to be Jose Oquendo. I want to be the secret weapon. Yep. That's me. Yep. I grew up in St. Louis in the 80s and 90s. Thank you, sir. Let's go with the upper deck.
I'm going lower because I think it looks cool.
Going lower deck. I'm going upper deck. I got a mustache that hides it, so people don't even know.
Yeah, they just think
They don't even know this thing. Like, dude,
I just saw a dude talking about North Carolina.
He just
and
came.
He was doing one of these, and I was like, God damn, man.
Damn, that dude is from fucking North Carolina.
North Carolina, dude.
But the whole stupid point that I was making
what was
was
the whole stupid
it's
point?
not even a good story.
Hey, it is, dude.
So the rule is for anything where you got to bring cars inside, like,
but it's so boring. I'm gonna try to put another.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shirt on
Get
there,
another shirt on there. I can tell the story without you, and so you're not gonna believe this. So I'm like, because I used to build limos, and of all the salespeople, have maybe the most. Look at you go, pal. That's about as good as it gets. It's about as good as it gets. We got a very ambitious show for them tonight.
Oh, yeah,
We've got an ambitious show. I'll finish the story.
We're out
real
over our
quick.
skis.
One of the things is when you're having any kind of indoor car show, they have to have like less than eighth a tank of gas, and the batteries can't be hooked up.
Oh,
So we run everything on like inverters and power. Like for the limos or the buses, we're showing all these lights and sound systems and shit. So it's all plugged into like inverters or So I'm running. Rather than moving, trying to like back up, and Austin Powers a 53-foot bus, so that I can be closer to power. I'm just running extension cords. I'll get a key grip on it. I'll get a gaffer. We'll get this stuff taped down. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're great.
I go to do this, dude. It was like I had 3 dudes come sprinting up. What are you doing? I'm sorry. What am I doing? I'm just plugging shit in. You can't do that. That has to be run by a union member.
Yep.
The extension cord. So you hanging the lights, or you asking if the lights were hung well, was not hung by a union guy. It was hung by a guy who dared one time. That's a little oily. That's all right. You're going to get that a little bit with aftermarket creamer, or not aftermarket creamers, but like with the built-in creamer.
Yeah, I got them aftermarket creamers.
It's not an OEM creamer, dude.
No,
I like to go straight from the titty for my creamer.
That's what I've heard.
Yep.
People have heard tell about just straight from the cream source.
Who we got in here tonight? We got Hey Fam from Skittles. Skittles, listen, I saw your little letter, bud, and selfishly, I'm glad that you're going to be around here a little bit longer. That's me being selfish. I recognize my selfishness because I don't want you to go anywhere. But also, I'm really fucking bummed out that that your shit is just getting drug out. As somebody who's been going through that stuff, the courts are a fucking nightmare, and I'm sorry that that's happening to you. I love that little slide on. I don't know what that means. Bradley would approve this message. I hope so, because the fucking tab ran out on us after the first chorus. There was 3 verses, and we're like, all right, well, let's just do what we do.
Sublime's one of those bands, too.
That's
I feel
okay.
like I know all the words, but then I'm
Totally.
like,
Well, if I wouldn't have looked at the words, we could have just done. One of my favorite memories ever was on the changing station. You just started playing that out as we were waiting on the, what was the guys before us? They were 2 guys on something, or a couple lads on.
Oh, yeah.
They were actually kind of great. We were kind of like that little late night crew. We were kind of the bad boys of AM
We
radio.
were the
We were kind of the
bad boys of AM radio, dude.
And I remember you playing that,
Nick.
buddy, and I was just out there singing, just
Nick was one of the guys' names Nick. And the other guy.
blown the fuck out. Your hat is so super white.
We fixed it. Thank
because
you.
I'm not there. Noopy says clap, clap, clap. A lot better. Perfect. Hey,
25
listen,
people in here. I haven't even shared it yet.
we haven't even shared. What's the deal?
I haven't even shared it. Did you share it?
Long-time commenter, first-time watcher. Love you,
What?
boys. Patrick Scoville, I love you, pal.
Patty
Are those-
Scoves?
Are those knickknacks? Dude, I love me some, I do love me some Patty Scoves.
I love me some Patty Scoves.
Hey, guys, sorry I'm late. We were all late.
We were all late.
And so if
Don't
you
worry
want
about
us
it.
to apologize, write your congressman. It's never happening.
Yeah,
Our show.
dude. Right to him.
They'll probably answer truthfully.
Politics, man. It's
Getting close. We're reaching a boiling point. We got about 2 weeks until. I just kick your shit.
you're good.
We got about 2 weeks until this whole fucking. Well, who
Yeah.
knows what happens? But at least the texts can stop.
Dude, what's up? Ted Cruz was on my ass the other night. He's like, seriously.
always is.
He's like, seriously, this is Ted Cruz.
It's like,
I need
listen
your
here,
help.
Peter Boyle. I don't know what to tell you. All right.
When you said Peter Boyle, all I could think of was that, like, Helen Boyle or something. That
Oh,
real,
yeah,
that real
from-
old chick.
from
Oh my God,
Britain's Got Talent.
this chick's ugly and old. No way she
No
has
way
to
she
go.
can sing.
Oh, can say well the road turn. And everybody's like, ah! They get melted because they can't believe. Hey, all you ugly people out there, you can do stuff too. Like, just because Craig and I are hot as fuck doesn't mean that, like, this all happens just super easy for us, okay? We still have to work for it.
gotta
Ugly
work at
people, you might have to work a little bit harder than the rest of us who are fucking smoked.
We're not trying to be jerks about it.
Not at all. This is what we're just working with what God gave us, man. White man God, white blue-eyed man God in the sky.
I saw a nativity scene today that was just. I mean, we're taking
Obscene.
we're taking a lot of liberties.
That's not. That's a white baby in there. Everybody knows that's a white, long-haired. They should make baby
Jesus,
long, yes,
like
dude.
looking like Jared Leto,
Yes,
Colt Jared Leto.
yes. That's who it is.
That's who it
dude.
is.
That's who it is.
They told us he was coming back. told us he was
Georgian
coming back.
tax system, if for no other reason than because you can't sing without Georgism.
Without saying jizz.
I said Georgia. Oh, I was gonna move the TV so I could see it better. I'm a fucking
Do what you got to do, bud. Because I'm ready. I'm ready. Steve and I were just like sending each other a bunch of stuff. The world is a weird place.
Yeah, you said it, brother.
The world is a weird place. We're having a good time.
We've cracked the code.
Totally have.
We've figured out that
We're
it.
millionaires.
With guys, you want to be like us? Look at us. We're in a van on a Thursday night. You know, our kids are just like out there. Okay, we're not spending any time with them, so that's fun.
Tell me why my mom is in this group
now.
Who added her? She wasn't supposed to know my secret.
Oh, buddy, how many times have we heard this story?
I was about to
Story
say
all the time.
this is the perfect opportunity. Wayne's World 2. A lot of guys' moms are in there.
Yep, a lot of guys' moms are up in there.
I didn't add her. We're not friends.
How's it sound? Sounds better now. Sounds better.
Everything's good. Sound check. 1 2 1 2. We didn't get
You're
a
on
chance to do a
2.
sound check. Steve's kids play soccer. My kid lives a long ways away. Had to eat. My kid. Had to
Sorry.
eat. My kid had.
Sorry, we're good
Sorry,
dads.
we're fathers.
Jeez, these
Sorry, we're
people
just
are
out here
all
following
over
the
us
world.
tonight.
Nobody
dude.
says
Hello.
hello.
Nobody on Facebook? Whoa.
That's pretty cool. Well, Sophia,
What's up with your mom?
Yeah, what's up with your mom?
What's up with your moms, yo?
Who added her? It's a weird group, man. You never know where the tendrils get in there.
Yeah, I try to add every person's family member if
Me
I can on the back end.
I
You
can
go there?
honestly, I can
I do
say
that.
with certainty, my mom has never been in the sophisticated Hoosiers. It bothers
Seriously?
Steve. It bothers Steve. I'd never put her in there. That's
I
not,
love, dude. My mom's up in here.
I know, Betty.
I gotta
know,
tell her to
Betty
get on
Babe's
here.
in there. I get it. Please don't do that. You don't take this away from me. Okay.
Where's Benny Pitts? Yeah, where is
Benny
Pitts?
Pitts?
That's
a
a great
good question.
Great question, Mike. That is a really good question. Everybody say hi to Mike.
Mike took the night off.
Yep, couldn't be here
His
because
replacement took the night off. Ben's not here. He took the night off.
they all had dick reducing surgery, which is, good for them. Okay,
I guess.
they want to have
It's humble brag.
They want to have normal sized penises.
A little bit of a humble brag.
It's cool. We do have a lot to get into.
Ben does
though.
have a sick kiddo. That's why he couldn't make it. That's what I'm saying. We're
Oh,
all
he's got a
dads.
sick
We're
kid.
dads,
Don't,
dude. We're
Don't
dads.
sick kiddo me.
We're dads handling dad shit.
Actually, yeah. No, I've changed my stance on that. I was going to try to make a joke where I was like, "Oh, dude, I got it. My grandma passed away." You know what I mean? How people always.
Sure.
But Ben would be here if he could, and I know that about him. I know that Ben would be here if he could.
Also, dick reducing surgery.
Also, dick reducing. Double up. I thought, well, you know what? I do the exact opposite. They call me the dick enlarging surgeon because whenever I'm around,
they get real hard.
Dicks get real large and in charge, bud.
That's true.
Ask Ben. My mom made her way to the Weed, Weather, and Whatever once and even commented, "Yeah, Jay Beara. Jay Bear? Jay." Oh, can we start calling her Jay Bear?
We can call her anything we want. We can do that. We're adults. Like that doesn't mean we're free of the consequences. But we can call her anything that we want.
It's still free land.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do that. I can do it from the comfort of the studio, which is very far away from me being physically struck by anybody who might take offense to what I call them.
Very true. They can chat at us in the chat. Ooh.
Let us know if you have a pet name you'd like us to call you.
Yeah, everybody.
That's the whole thing.
Pick a nickname for each other.
Everybody pick a nickname for themselves. No one's ever given. No one is ever given. No one has ever given free license to give themselves a nickname except for here. Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night. We'll call you by your
nickname. You want to be known
nickname.
as something? We're going to call you by it.
And make sure, like, if you do comment, put dash your nickname a few times because it's going to take us a minute to get used to
Might
these.
get it.
Well, it's going to take us.
I'll come on a show. Do I need to grow a mustache, though? You don't. Mustaches are not mandatory.
But they're awesome.
Mandatory.
They're awesome.
I would recommend you grow a mustache just to fucking really get into the roots of your masculinity. Chicks like a lip rug.
Dude, if you could. My kids are listening, but you know what to do with a mustache, dude. Sop it. Sop it up. You sop it up, dude. That way you can carry them with you.
They don't call it a flavor saver for nothing.
Dude.
I'm about to shave mine off, actually.
This is not Vietnam. This is nicknames, okay?
There are rules.
There are rules. That's a good point, dude. There are no rules. Well, we got
You want to be called Van Juju. Ben, I'll call you Van Juju. That's easy.
Raul Van Juju. Sop that mofo. Is that a nickname or is that he wants to sop it up too?
I don't know,
He's
but
got a
Mike
beard
is
to sop it up.
participating more from home than he does when he's
what
sitting
the shit is going
in
on?
the
He's,
studio.
yeah, he's better from the text message line.
What do you got for me tonight, pal?
I'm pretty partial to ass. That's what it says that in the chat. I didn't say that. That's not me.
That's Rachel. That has to be Rachel. Is that Rachel?
Yeah, her nickname's Ass.
Yeah, yes, because she acts like a real ass sometimes.
yeah.
I called her an ass
When
the
I
other
see
day.
her,
You're acting like a real ass.
Yeah, when I
changed her
think of
name in my phone.
I think of ass. What an ass.
Just a complete ass.
Oh, man, every time. Just what I think of. Buddy, I got some stuff for you tonight, dude.
Okay.
And real quick, if you're not following Area 54 on Facebook, please do.
I wish you would. I really wish you would.
Please do.
It'd be
We've made
sweet.
little bits of content for them. It's been coming out every day. Places getting ready to open up. We've cracked the code. This is what I was getting to earlier. Well, guys, let's have some fun. Okay?
Let's have a little fun.
Let's spend time with people we enjoy. Have as much fun as we can. Because tragedies are going to happen. That shit happens.
Totally.
And you need this group around you to help build yourself up, build everyone up. And then when these tragedies happen, you got a support system there for you. That's huge. You're not alone. When you're in this group, you're not alone.
No, that's right.
You've joined a gang. You've officially joined a gang. Okay, we do have to jump most of these people in. We're gonna have to get a schedule.
We're a little behind. We're behind on the scheduling.
Yeah, Who was the last one? Who was the last person we beat the absolute shit out of?
I'd say it was probably Father Tim.
Yeah, he's in. He passed after we beat him though so hard though. So
we probably shouldn't have picked the Monsignor.
Yeah,
he was already on the back.
Yeah,
side.
he was 76 years old, and then
I was like, "Hey, Padre!"
You RKO'd him, which was weird. Oh yeah, dude, get after.
I hit him with my Area 54 space.
Yeah, dude. Area 54 on Facebook. Someone put at Area 54 in the chat, so everyone can just click on that link. Go ahead and follow and like. And then we also have October 26th. We have the HoSo North Night Out. Sing along spooktacular. That's the Saturday. Go register.
Well, they made
this is a hard and fast fucking rule.
They made it real easy, actually. They made it real easy. They're just going to register you on site now. You don't have to
Listen,
show
they're
up.
just going to register you on site.
But
okay?
they are. It doesn't matter if you look like you're 112.
Doesn't matter
They're
if you look
they're
like
going to ID you.
100.
They have to do it.
If you're a 3,000-year-old wizard, what are
gotta
they
have
going to
an
do? Are
ID.
they going to ID you? If you're a 3,000-year-old wizard, Craig, are they going to ID a 35
They have to. It's
3,500 years old?
You guys voted for this program. You voted for it. This is what you got to do. Show your
This is
fucking
what
ID.
you got to
Show your
do.
ID.
Okay, and we'll all have a good old time with people we love. Dress up, have some fun,
gonna have
get
a
in the
blast,
moment.
dude.
Get in the moment.
They got the
dude.
tent up this morning. I was leaving for work. I saw the guys building the tent. It's a big old situation.
It's
going to be
big
nice and
old
comfy out there. We're going to
situation.
get some stuff on fire. We're going to play some songs. We'll take some
Gang,
requests.
gang.
Probably.
Randy, I got to shout her out. Area 54 is the greatest
Helicopter
place.
contest? Yeah, we can do that.
What's for sure? That's Kobe. What's the face on the sprouted potato?
Oh, that's a yam.
Oh wait, I'll move your arm. Other one. Yeah, there is a face on it. I don't know.
I believe that's a yam, though.
That's a yam, which is in the potato family.
It's a tuberous root.
Love a good support system for my tragedies. Damn right, bud. Don't be a gang. We are a gathering of friends.
They
that
did.
get all
Neil and
weird.
Leonard did pitch a massive tent this morning.
Oh, I bet they did. I bet people are pitching a massive tent right now. Just a couple of dudes. Just a couple of dudes. Damn. It's a beautiful sight coming together out there. Neil and Leonard. Pitch massive tent. I'm coming. Everyone's coming. Everyone's hard. That's kind of the name of our game.
Name of the game.
Okay, we do it. We make people sexually charged. Is it our fault? Some say yes. Mainly the authorities are the ones who say yes most of the time. But we'll settle that in court. Don't worry about us.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're fine with that. Let daddies take care of it. Okay. You guys ever seen that show, My Two Dads? This is basically what's going on right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm Paul Reiser. You're that cool dad that had longer hair, had a flow. Remember My Two Dads with Paul Reiser? And the chick from Step by Step, the bitchy sister. I think she was the daughter. And they were raising this kid, just two dudes. Not gay, though. This was 1995, so.
Sure, that was illegal back then.
It was illegal. You couldn't do that shit.
Yeah.
My Two Dads. Look it up.
Pulling
dude.
it up.
Pull
Oh,
yeah.
dude. The
Is
guy
it
that
her?
looked like he was in Color Me Bad.
Yeah.
What is his
her.
name? What is
Dana Burger. That's Dana Burger.
Greg?
He had nothing. He had nothing
Greg
after
a
that.
vegan. That's just what he did.
He didn't go to
Giovanni
any of the
Ribisi
Dana
was on that show, though.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah. Dick Butkus was on that show.
Oh, Dick Buckus had he had a recurring role.
You were kind of throwing a lot of stuff at me. Well, then come, Allison Christine. Just come. It's.
You're an adult. Hang out with your
You
friends.
can do anything you want. It's October 26th, this Saturday at North. Come on out. We're going to sing songs. It's going to be great fellowship. There's Hoosiers coming from all over the state, not to mention all the cool people in Jeffco that are just North patrons. The North guys have just been awesome for our community, and so we want to go out and show them some love, and they're going to make sure to get you all awesome weed products while you're there. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and this isn't a Fidelio party, okay? So this is just a hang.
I just got that fucking cloak for nothing.
Craig's new cloak. Oh my God. Get this. I called Craig the other day and I'm like, hey bud, what's going on? How you doing? He's like, oh good. Just I'm in between 2 or 3 cloaks right now, just doing some cloak shopping. And I'm like, okay, very Craig Kohler sentence to say right there. That tracks. Yep. He's definitely cloak shopping right now. So our outfits have to do with another little bit we have going on for the Mycelial Media, which I don't know if you saw. Our first little taste. We've done videos before, but we did like a proof of concept with the Jenny Real Estate, Lauren Risley Real Estate video.
You want to play it for him?
I got it in there. I got it queued up.
We'll go and tell him about it a little bit, and I'll get us ready.
what mycelial media is going to do is we're not chasing algorithms. What we do and what we do best is connect people. So what we're going to do is make cool, funny, unique videos and have the mycelium, which is 12 companies. We're only accepting 12 because that's all we can really get our time to. Could we do more and give them less of a product? Yeah, we probably could. But guess what? We're not doing that. This is what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. And we're going to help the community. Is that okay with that? So we do it through videos. We made a little one for Jen. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey, Jen,
Yeah, Steve.
I made you an internet commercial.
Cool. Very cool.
Do you want to see it?
Uh-huh.
Pardon?
No, sure.
Okay, here it is.
Jenny's got that groove in the office or the clubs and homes with flash. She's got that energy with the phone and she's back, ready to move. Call her up, watch her buzz, dance on TV. Jenny is the best, reaching for the stars in that disco light. There's a neon fire, selling dreams on gold. She sets the bar, lighting up the night with a superstar. Chains don't swing, it's like a melody with every house she sells. A small symphony at the store she's on with energy so bright. Dancing through the listings, she's got that good soul. Jenny is the best, reaching for the stars in that disco light. There's a neon fire, selling dreams on gold. She sets the bar, lighting up the night with a superstar.
Honey, what did you think?
That's great. I love that you're trying to help me make social media videos. But why don't you just say that I work for Lauren Risley Realty and we will help you find your dream home?
My wife, Jen, works for the Lauren Risley Realty team, and they're great people who will help you find your dream home. But I don't know if they got the moves like that. My knees popped.
Yeah, man. I'm just proud to be your partner. And
Dream come
one
true,
of the things we love to do, one of the things that I love most about the Hoosiers is the constant pouring of love into one another and gassing each other up. And I felt as though I do have to, one, overall, great job, awesome, highlights Jenny, highlights Lauren Risley Real Estate. Let me just tell you where I get green with envy, okay? Because you were with me at you know where I live, right? Like, if I'm jamming, I'm just right here. Buddy, you're going to have to teach a class for what to do with your arms when you're dancing, because you have got the fucking moves with the arms, and I'm blown away by it. I'm blown away by it.
Well, you know what? Thank you.
Yeah, I know you were. I know it's something you decided you were going to work on.
Because we're both Clifford at heart, you know what I mean? And I always try to channel, remember when he gets Grodin, Charles Grodin, on the train to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's running away from the train, and he's moving. You know what I mean? He is moving. He starts out kind of slow and low, and then he's kicking his legs, and then he's moving out.
Yep.
I'm just trying to communicate through dance. You know what I mean? I'm
Yes.
trying to communicate joyfulness, hope, loss of antiquities. I'm trying to get you that through these dance moves, and I think
100.
that's what most people got from.
That's what I got from it.
Yes, that's what.
I'll tell you what. I started the video living in a duplex. I ended the video ruining the day that I got into that duplex and didn't buy a home from Lauren Risley.
Yeah, you're stupid, man.
Big dumb idiot.
You're stupid, dude.
Big stupid dumb idiot.
What, man? All right, we got a lot of topics to get to. I hope you're ready to go down to the rabbit hole a little bit with us tonight. We had an unbelievably good post in the group, and I'm not just saying this because the guy is, helping us in every way humanly possible. He actually has a brain too.
He's got a big old brain.
Okay, because we're not some radio guys who will just be like, hey, someone gave us money, so we like them. If we were willing to do that.
No, we would have been in a much better position at this point.
Listen. I don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of it.
If our pride didn't get in the way of our success.
Yes,
for the last 6 years. Who knows where we could
wouldn't be in a basement.
Probably be
not.
doing this show from the beach in Bora Bora.
Yep, but no, we have morals and values. Buckle up, Craig, and prepare for a long read. Okay, so I just had a pretty radical philosophical thought about what a democratic AI representative republic could look like. This is from our buddy Morgan Vollner. Imagine groups or individuals working off the same base model AI. I'm sure it would be an LLM, probably a large language model type situation.
Sure.
But each group or person chooses a unique path of reinforcement learning. For example, every pro-choice individual would regularly reward the model for responses reflecting pro-choice values and punish it for pro-life responses, and vice versa. Similarly, people valuing government fiscal responsibility versus deficit spending would train or fine-tune the models based on their respective values.
Sure.
Now take the results of those various AI models and make them candidates for human vote election. Love where this is going. The system would be designed so that AI candidates could only communicate in an audit-ready format. For example, there would always be a record of every query and response from the model. If at any time a person wanted to check the track record of an AI candidate, they could see everything it has ever said. Oh, I got to go back to it. It could see everything it has ever said. There would always be a record for every query of any time a person wanted to check. They could see it, throughout its existence. Next, replace the humans in Congress and the Senate with these democratically elected, human-voted, auditable AI candidates. Leave term lengths, limits, and practically all other aspects of government exactly as they are today, at least for the sake of this discussion. If the elected AI candidate turns out to deliver results the populace dislikes, it gets replaced in the next election. In this scenario, the AI candidates wouldn't have access to personal bank accounts, so it would be impossible to buy votes. If a special interest group favored a particular AI candidate, the reason for their support would be evident in the query response logs, so nothing would be hidden from public view. As I sit here contemplating this concept, I find myself grappling with the trust in AI. I tend to remain skeptical of putting too much trust in AI for anything. However, I feel like the auditability of the system, combined with the elimination of a politician's incentive for personal gain, could potentially deliver superior results compared to the human politician-centric systems we have today. Just imagine wondering what your elected officials think about a particular topic and being able to type a question into a chat window and get immediate feedback straight from the horse's mouth. No trips to Jeff City or Washington, D.C. to schedule a meeting. No digging through the censored media for quotes on political stances. No aid-drafted auto responses when you email or call your elected officials. No talking out of both sides of their mouths depending on their audience. Just 100% transparency on how the AI candidate has ever responded to any questions on any topic, with immediate and frictionless access to all humans governed by them. I would love to hear your thoughts because I have some thoughts on this.
Well, the express of concern over how much we can trust AI is palpable. I mean, it's a major issue that we have to figure out. And I think the biggest unknown for me there is I think right now the biggest issue is that AI is being developed by special interest groups and big money and investors and things like that. And so I think that it's going to take at least a generation, and then we're going to have a little bit of a generation of AI, not necessarily a full generation of people, because it's advancing way faster.
What's a generation of AI?
Yeah, that's happening a lot quicker than we thought.
Yes.
So what I'm saying, I think what we have to see is we're going to have to see AI be sentient to a level. We're going to have to see how it changes its thoughts, how it molds its thoughts, and what that looks like with one model over the course of a little bit of time. I love the idea in theory. I think it's a much more representative of direct democracy. I actually think that you could, and I don't think that direct democracy is necessarily, I've said it many times, I think that would be probably a bad thing for humans in general, because not all ideas are good ideas, are equally good ideas. And so I think what happens is you have more takers making rules eventually than givers or creators. However, I think that you could probably get a more representative and less fuck-withable election process if we used some kinds of different crypto to where it was one vote, one person, and there were logs on everything, so you could look through the blockchain and see that this person voted or this number voted, because it could all still be random, obviously. I think that's a little like maybe a go-between stage before we hand it over to the robots, because does that mean that we don't have an executive anymore? Like, at what, like, do you just have a president who is just now at this point a data analyst?
What do you think?
I just don't think we're there yet. I think that Silicon Valley, the people that are developing this, have essentially attacked the world or victimized the world with a group think that like such a small area of the world and such a tight community, essentially shaping the discourse and the discussion. We've seen this happen. We've seen things get censored. I don't think that until we figure out a way where it is like the beauty of Bitcoin versus other cryptos is that there is no owner, there is no creator of that system, right? I mean, there's a creator.
Did you
of the
hear
system,
they think they found the guy?
They're always always kind of doing
like, hey,
that.
they're going to legalize weed.
Even still, exactly.
Federal level. Let's share the article.
Exactly.
They're going to do it.
So I think that there might be a go-between stage there. I love the idea in practice. I love the idea of being able to take away like you scratch my back for my constituents and I'll scratch your back for your constituents, which is really just you help me buy my votes, I'll help you buy your votes. Because when we're talking about constituents, especially, on the national level, we got to start moving towards all of us being represented in positive ways so that one side doesn't feel constantly under attack by the other, and rather than hey, if you give me $70 billion for this project to nowhere, then I'll vote for that policy of yours or whatever. I feel like it's such a weird and gross way of we're not represented. We are not represented right now. It's like the things that are trying to get passed are they are like this representation. They're just distractions. It's like it feels like more and more the more they have us plugged into these screens, the more they have us plugged into the matrix. It's more about keeping us distracted while 535 people in Washington D.C. and all of their cronies essentially vote for their better life on the backs of all of us who are just trying to do the best we can to live in our little communities. That's why I love the federal government being as small as possible and the government having a little bit more effect on your life the closer it gets. So whatever that looks like, there's people will vote for single issue things on the national level, on the state level. Well, I'm here for it on the state level. Like if there's something that you don't feel Missouri is representing for you in a way, then that's the soapbox you should stand on. That's where you should try to affect change rather than try and speak for somebody that lives in Augusta, Maine.
No doubt.
I don't live anywhere near there. I don't know what they need.
We're huge.
I
don't know if people realize this.
Yeah, it's
America's
all over the place.
Big. No, I hear what you're saying. And this is going to kind of tie us into our next topic, which it was an old post on Hoosier Sophisticated about kind of like what's your thoughts in the afterlife?
Can we pull those up?
We can wait, maybe, because this will tie it in. My beginning will tie in to what is going on with the afterlife, because I've been thinking a lot about all the dots and all the weird things we've looked up on the years of being on the show, having Seth make us the rabbit hole segment. And we've been down. Conspiracies used to kind of be a thing where it was like, that'd be crazy. And now you're like, oh my God, dude, like what the conspiracy theory rate of being true was like higher than it was not being true for a while. And you're like, holy shit, this is getting wild. I keep harking on that we are entering a drastically new phase, and I keep trying to pinpoint what is the biggest difference. And this is the remnants of the internet. This internet tool that we figured out it solved one of the biggest problems to humankind, to violence among humankind, which was the ability to speak to people in faraway lands. So now instantly to where you can go, what's it like where you're at? What's it like where I'm at? I feel like the normal everyday person, they just want to fucking hang with their family, have some good times, work a good job they like, go on a few vacations. It's a pretty standard human set of emotions that lead to happiness. All your needs are met. I think with us being able to figure that out, that's the front part of this wave that is happening right now. So there's an epic wave coming right now of technology, which is leading us into a spacefaring society to where we can't imagine kind of world peace. I've talked about it on the show before where I'm like, do we think we'll ever achieve world peace? And 100%, I think people tell me, they're like, nah, it's just kind of in human nature to do that. I do think it is in some human nature, and that's kind of what we're witnessing now. We're entering this peak. We're going up the roller coaster, and we're tick, 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 tick. We know it's coming. Because now all these people who are in power are at their last grasps of power, and they're trying to hold on to it as much as they can and have control over people, because those are like families since history's been written. It's like, yeah, they banged their cousin, they kept the bloodline clean, and they're still running shit, you know. And you're like, okay, that's fucking weird. All these old families, what the fuck? So there is still a lot of that going on. There's still a lot of weird kind of like human ancient human gross weird shit.
We're seeing some weird stuff,
We're
right?
seeing the weirdest
what was a
shit.
conspiracy theory, a few years ago, are kind of regularly being proven to be, I don't know entirely true, but a lot of it's true. And we're seeing, we've always known there's been kind of a Hollywood elite problem.
Yeah.
We're seeing that. And I sent you a video today of
old
the
Abercrombie and Fitch guy too.
What's the deal? And these are
And
people
dude,
that are all directly
the
tied
allegations
to the they're heinous.
They are rough, dude.
They are
Some
heinous.
of the roughest you've heard. Yeah, they're all tied to the Epstein list. They're all they're just going to delay. This came out at the perfect time. I always put myself in the shoes of people who are in control. You go, hey, if I was in control right now and I had videos of me doing the most heinous shit, I go, what do we got? About 6 months to a year before deep fakes are totally
undetectable.
Undetectable.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well,
because we try to keep each other in check. You're like, yeah, if that's real. If that's real, if that's not a deep
100%,
fake thing,
yes,
yes,
because
there is some
weird,
weird stuff, dude.
Some weird stuff. So I think that's what we're seeing. The major shift that has happened is education and knowledge. There is no barrier to it now. There's zero barrier. If you got a phone and some sort of satellite system, you have all of the knowledge you could ever want about anything you ever want.
Yeah.
That levels the playing field. I think our kids being born into that world, like kids especially being born now, kids being born right at this second where AI is blowing us away with what it can do, they're going to be like, oh, that's what you guys did with AI?
Dude, look at fucking Pong, Atari, 8-bit, every generation of video games that we saw. First time I saw Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis, I was like, dude, it's real people.
Dude.
We're playing with real people.
Dude, I said to my stepbrother when I got a first PS2, NCAA, whatever came out, and I go, dude, it'll never get better than this.
Yep. How are they going to improve on it? Gran Turismo 3, I was the same
It'll
way.
never get better. It'll never get better.
Unbelievable.
Now they're like, you want to sit in the car and have all your neural network. Speaking of Pong.
And go back now knowing what you know and look at those graphics and you're like, dude, I thought this was
and it's
as
Minecraft.
real as it got. And they're blocky characters.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
But they had AI and they took stem cells of the brain and they built brains with neurons and dendrites, and the AI was the learning system for this biological being.
Okay. So do they like 3D print a brain, or
the cells start growing and replicating?
Interesting.
Yes, and when it starts to learn something, it learned Pong. Learned how to play Pong.
Wild, dude.
So that's the level of AI that is we're cyborgs at that point. But with AI coming on, I saw a video of someone taking a college student goes, well, college is broken. She's taking a test on her computer. She clicks in the upper left-hand corner, drags her arrow across the screen, turns it all blue, presses another button. It gives a breakdown of each answer and why. She just goes through, clicks A, C, D. These kids will know. They'll think our ways are archaic. So they'll think they know. To tie this into what we were talking about with the presidential thing, I would love to realize that, would love to believe that AI is going to be like dogs.
Okay.
Like man's best friend.
They're
like
just
they are
in
here to
service to us.
serve. Yes. Their life, their best life is doing a job for some sort of human and being like, am I fucking good?
Am I doing good?
Am I doing fucking good? But you will have some dogs that bite people in the face and shit. So you are going to have to watch out for those AIs. What I wonder is, are we going to have enough time to have this revolution of grace to where everyone turns on and says, oh, you know what? I do need to do some mushrooms. I do. Because the heart of man is going to be the heart of AI. So when AI turns on, the heart of man needs to be as pure as it can be, as far as like love,
Connected to
leading with
humanity.
love,
Connected to their humanity.
so that we still stay connected to that thing that loves the outdoors, that loves when sun rays go through trees, that loves a campfire at night, that loves fishing with his buddy, that loves belly laughing with his friends. That has to stay. So the kids, I think, will realize that, like, oh, these robots and these AI,
they can handle all of our essentials.
they're in service to us. So then you say, what does the world look like that if it's all needs are met? Then that goes into the presidential thing, because none of that will matter. We can still have borders and stuff like that, but I truly think in 2 or 3 generations they're going to go, that shit's dumb, guys.
That all depends on on us being spacefaring.
Yes.
Like, we'll still have borders. Essentially, it'll probably look like some of these futuristic movies. To Kill a or to Mockingjay or whatever.
Yeah.
Hunger Games. Like, we'll still be separated, and that's probably good. We need to be able to vote for what our particular area is servicing and whatnot. In a perfect utopian world with AI does start to handle all of these things that we are spending our time doing things that we don't want to be doing. Hopefully, we can train this AI to take care of those things so that we are spending more time outside of the matrix.
Yes.
I feel like right now, a lot of it, I'm as guilty as anybody. I have such a, probably to a fault, like such an understanding for like what our kids are trying to navigate.
For sure.
As a 40-year-old newly single guy, like, the world is insane compared to where I was 12 years ago when I thought I had my forever plan figured out. And being dumped back into it, I'm like, I don't even know what to do with all these
I don't
tools.
know what advice to give my
This
kids.
is crazy. And, you know, to put it into perspective, I remember, Jesus, I mean, I remember high school like it was, you know, I remember, what's up, Teddy Grams? I remember, you know, high school like it was yesterday. And, dude, we didn't have Google wasn't like, it was a thing, but it didn't become like the thing that it is now in YouTube until after we were out of high school. Like, high-speed internet was a luxury before. So, like, one, just being, I always wonder, man, how cool would it be to have been a student that had just the answer to everything at the tip of their fingers and didn't have to sit in libraries and go through all of this stuff. But we're also learning that what we think is quick and easily accessible information, there's gates on it. There's definite agendas. You have to search for certain things before you kind of get past whatever the prevailing narrative is for what's going out there. With Google, and we know that. We know that certain things are, you know, ping the algorithm in certain ways, and so there's always kind of narratives being pushed. And so I wonder, and I don't, maybe this is happening. I wonder if there is some kind of marriage that can take place. What's up, Skittles, my guy? I wonder if there isn't some kind of like some kind of thing that's taking place where a marriage of AI and the blockchain.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they do, but as far as like, we need something that is the equivalent of Bitcoin. As far as like, nobody really controls it other than whoever's buying the most of it at that point. Like, because you have something like Ethereum and like all the products that are built on Ethereum. If you hold tokens, you make votes for how you want that system to progress. Bitcoin is Bitcoin is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's the deal. It can keep getting like, you can keep fractionating it, making it smaller and smaller so that more people can have a piece of it. But there is no owner or company that is driving an agenda behind Bitcoin beyond the people that are actually trading what we value as currency now for it.
Yes.
So if you can figure out a way to have this democratized process with trained AI that does vote kind of along the lines of people being, hopefully that AI, the base model of that AI is developed by something that already doesn't have a pre-existing
Yes, that's the
agenda.
tough part.
And I don't know how you do that, but if that's happening, then I see that being a real possibility for how we move forward, especially as we move into a global government, which will happen when we start spacefaring. And I am fucking 1,000% behind. Listen, treat the planet better because it's all we've ever known as home, and get as much out of it as we can while giving back to it as much as we can in healthy ways. But that doesn't stop space rocks and volcanoes from blowing up. We have to have a fucking exit plan. We have to have another place to go. We do have to go out into this abundant universe that we know is just massive. And you know, who knows how far away it is. I'll tell you what, it's crazy that we're catching rockets with chopsticks. I mean, that's wild, dude. Like, things that are happening in 2024, if you'd have told me were happening in 2014, I'd be like, that's kind of a cool sci-fi plot.
Yeah, and then waiting 5 years when Gronk's like, hey, you know, it's a better way to do that, engineers. Because in my world, all these smart people who are growing up right now, smarter than we've ever been because they have, maybe you say they're getting dumber because they're just looking up stuff. Well, it's going to reignite curiosity. This is going to become a new renaissance. This is going to become a time where people's creative juices are going to be the only thing that's limitless. This whole scheme that we've kind of been sold our whole lives as long as humans, it's like, get the most shit. Get the most shit you can, and you will be the most happy you can. I always thought about like billionaires or really rich people, millionaires when I was a kid. And they go, oh, this guy's got 6 houses. I'd always be like, wow, how does he have time to even enjoy these 6 houses? Right. This is a scheme that is sold to us by, and we're going to use some buzzwords. I'm going to use some buzzwords here, capitalism and communism. There's a new form of not governance, because it won't really be governance, but communism is like, hey, I remember looking up communism in an encyclopedia when I was a kid because people were like, that shit's fucking bad. And you look up the definition, and it's like, oh, sharing shit with everybody. And so you're like, oh, the people in charge fuck things up no matter what system. Because we've seen
absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Because we've seen how capitalism, now it's just become corporatism, where it's like, oh, eventually
it's
when
cronyism
you get to
and corporatism.
When you get to a certain point of capitalism, it just morphs into that. It's good for innovation, it's good, but it's just this system that grows and then turns. You have to be able to adapt and change.
Well, you have to evolve with it.
Yes, and so these rich people who are collecting things, just collecting things, things. I really think the in 2 or 3 generations, kids are going to be like, that shit is about as dumb as it is, because I can put on this fucking headset and I can have anything, and I don't have to have this amount of money to do all these things. The bar has been lowered for financial, for all that shit. And now we have AI figuring out how much food each area needs, what kind of weather systems are coming, now the AI has exactly how much food we need, exactly how much meat we need, figures that out for us. Now it says, okay, we got these little drones. They can deliver fruits and vegetables quicker than we ever have. It zips it up, makes it, it can go in the sky. It stays fresh. Boom, goes over to that. AI's got all the food figured out. And they're like, hey, actually, which I've been following this guy on TikTok, this 369 resonance. He keeps going
369
suck it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low to the window, to the wall.
I know exactly the guy you're talking about.
He's making
till the sweat drop down my balls.
He's making these hydrostatic motors. It's fucking unreal, dude. So he's unlocking the electrons, the energy that's around
things
us.
He's getting was telling us about 130
he's trying to collect free radical electrons and turn them into a power source, and he's about there, dude. So he'll be gone here sooner or later. But there's AI will figure out our energy thing. And then we have housing. So we have housing, energy, and we have food. So we're going to have three main things figured out where these corporations can't grasp control over us anymore. So they're going to try to fight this as much as they can because they like the system that is happening right now. But I think even those people's kids, like Kellogg's, I am boycotting Kellogg's. So like the Kellogg's grandchildren are going to be like, that shit's dumb. Like, yeah, we had all this shit, but now, like,
dude,
what is
the
reality?
Kellogg's history has always been fucked.
Well, they're. I will never.
No,
buy
going
a
back
thing.
to when whatever John W. Kellogg or whatever, going back
The
to their
piece of shit.
inception. Oh, dude, the Kellogg's thing is like I know that everything they have is poison. That's fine, but like. It was actually in the beginning. He was like a major like Puritan. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
talk about this a little bit because
Okay.
I remember being in high school maybe and reading about it. I'm like, Jesus, that's fucked. It was like he was like his whole plan with fucking Kellogg's is not like it's like Samuel L. Jackson in the what's the movie
Snakes
where
on a Plane?
No, well that's a great one. No, the one with not the gentleman.
I'm a bad motherfucker.
with all the British spies.
Gentlemen.
Not the gentleman. Whatever.
Snatch.
No, fuck. Whatever.
Lock, stock, and two
Doesn't
smoking
matter.
barrels.
It doesn't matter. The fucking the Knights of the
Golden.
What the fuck?
Gentlemen. No, not the gentleman.
Whatever.
League of Extraordinary.
That's also not it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Someone help us.
I don't give a shit.
Help us.
This Zen's not working.
Yeah, dude, you need another one? Bob,
No, I don't.
each
I'm
corner
putting
of your
fucking
head.
12er
Bob,
in
one
there.
each corner of your
I
head.
feel like a large part of stepping into the space chapter of existence is the imprisoning lack of ability to experiment or really fuck around at all. You can blow shit up and break things on Earth, and we can mostly survive whatever. While drifting through the vacuum of space, on the other hand, everything could risk genocide.
What's he saying?
Yeah,
there?
we can't send everybody at once. That's the thing, is it's a slow developing thing. We can't just like fly a rocket off of the planet at any given time. We haven't figured out a way to do that yet. We have to find pockets. We can kind of throw it up there. I still love the idea of space elevators. Like, can we put a couple $100 billion instead of that like little fruity nut job that's running the Ukraine dancing around in a fucking dress or whatever? Can we build a space elevator?
Dude, we waste so much money on the dumbest shit. Like right now, how many resources are being wasted on the election where people are like, hey, let's have these giant rallies and waste a bunch of money so people can yell at one person who's fucking...
Yeah, where I can sit in a room with 6,000 people that already agree 100% with
What
me.
are we doing? What are we doing while people in North Carolina are like, hey,
But it turns out the North Carolina, like I let me just tell you,
Throw 'em some cash.
My love to everyone in North Carolina going through all of this, and even deeper love for all of you telling the feds to go fuck themselves.
Yep.
We'll just handle it. We'll do it
yeah,
ourselves.
we're good. What the fuck
We'll
are
just
they
handle it. Get the fuck out of here.
We live in a country where when that shit happens, we should probably be preemptive because hurricanes, I don't know if people know this.
Yeah,
but
we
you
track
can
them off the
track
coast
them
for a long
while.
time. Yeah.
So our teams in America, we should have pre-disaster teams that go in there and they
Help
big
board
machines.
shit up.
Yeah, or like, oh, we think this river's going to overflow here. Let's build a path on this way so that way it's already got something it can kind of lead into. Then while it's there, you pull back, you pull all your guys back, pull as many people as you can back. But guess what? They're Americans. If they want to fucking stay, dude. Then when the shit gets too crazy, they are immediately on site already. Big machines ready to pull people's shit out of it. That way, in a matter of a couple weeks, we can start building this shit up again.
Yes.
And then it's like, hey, I'm America. Guess where I'm going for my vacation next year? Fucking Asheville. I'm going to put my fucking shoulders in the dirt, try to get some things done. I'm going to use that as my vacation because guess what? This is fucking America. This place was the beacon of freedom in the world where you can get shit done, not based on how you were born, based on how much you wanted to fucking put a little red ass in the system, dude.
Yeah.
That's the awesome thing about capitalism. You fucking work your dick to the dirt.
Yeah.
Guess
You're-
what? You're doing all right.
That's
You
right.
can fucking, if you're smart about it.
I was gonna say, as long as you're kind of informed of how, like, that's really what it comes down to. For a long time, for the entirety of our lives, we were sold something throughout the school system, and both of us went to Catholic schools.
Yeah.
But it like the overarching message wasn't that much different than what was being told in public schools.
We missed it. Mike, where you at, dude?
Yep. But like for a couple of for a couple generations, it did work in a way where it's like, hey, you go to school, you get a good degree, you're going to get a good job. Because there were people that were flowing into the United States. There were people that were happy to dig ditches. And also, it didn't pay so bad to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the dollar's spent.
But it was this idea of you go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job, you fucking save up for retirement, and
Just
you go.
get a
But that
degree in
is
anything.
never the story that wealthy, successful people have ever told their kids.
Nope.
Your money is your employee.
Yep.
You know, get your money working for you as quickly as possible because that shit compounds and it gains momentum, right? And buy things that are going to appreciate faster than the dollar is going to depreciate by a bunch of fucking clowns in Washington D.C.
Yep.
And so like that's the story that there's a financial savvy conversation that needs to take place. And all of these things, like we do all play by the same set of rules, but only based on our economic output, throughput. I'm not exactly sure. Like the law doesn't quite work against the rich the way that it works against us, right? However, the rules for success are all the same. You just have to figure out how to beat the game. You got to read the fucking Nintendo Gamer fucking catalog. You got to know the codes.
You just got to call the number. Remember back in the day they had numbers. You could call and be like, hey, I'm stuck on level 4 of Zelda. And I don't know where the white sword is. And they're like, dude, it's a hidden wall. You gotta go. I'm like, all right, dude, you could call fucking Nintendo.
That is something. Let's see. That's why our taxes are so high. Roads, our infrastructure is such garbage.
Dude,
okay,
it is.
So here's how we play the game. Now we start telling wealthy people or whatever, you can start building roads up. And once you incentivize them to start figuring out a way off of this planet that they can monetize for regular people to be able to participate in space travel, even if it's just for a short visit, to be able to look down and be like, man, we need to take care of that blue dot down there. We got to do it. Like there's value in that. Like Aubrey Marcus had like a thing where they were going to take everybody up into the stratosphere so you could look down and just see that the Earth's not flat.
Yeah, well, I know it's like this.
Yeah, it's a dome. It's like a flat with a dome top.
Yeah, it's kind of like this.
Yeah. It's hollow.
I'm with you. See all of that. The way these large language models are going, because I am tapped into the AI. I am reading the news every day, every morning. The pace it's moving that faster than I think people can even keep up with. Because once you have these brilliant minds working alongside these AI that can immediately answer their questions, that can immediately figure out things for them, that can immediately create a program that allows them to do certain things, that immediately says, hey, look for this, checks their blind spots. We're living in a completely different world than humans have ever experienced, which brings me to play it out. Okay. We're probably going to have some sort of system to where I'm not a rich person, but I can afford this tube that I get in, this float tank that I put on these sensory things. Sure. I knock myself out and I'm living in a mansion on the coast of Greece. I got hot chicks near me, and everything is picked up through the actual sensations. I got a timer. When that goes off, I got to get out of my thing. I go to sleep for the night, whatever. Maybe that counts as your sleep. Who knows? So then people are going to say, but no, I don't want to go that far into that world. Or humans will evolve to where they realize it's just like that will almost be like Coke. It'll be like, I like it to do it for a little bit, but I'm not going to do it all the time. That'll wreck me. But some people are going to do it all the time.
They're going to do it all the time.
They're going to Daryl Strawberry inside of that thing.
They're going to do it.
Okay, so that's just going to happen. But you're also going to have people who are like, I'm never getting in one of those. Sure. So you're going to kind of have these wild tribes who are like, they realize, because
a lot of sci-fi's playing with that. It's like people, and it's happening now.
Even the AI knows that though, because like when people are like, "How do I find happiness?" They're gonna be like, "Oh, go sit under a tree, yeah, go
take a walk, put your feet on the ground."
Yes,
and so that's
always gonna be known to us. So as far as humans go, they'll know that's at their core. That'll be kind of the only truths that they follow, because everything else can be manipulated and had at a moment's notice. Mm. So it'll make the human psyche not want to pursue that as much, to where now we're living in a world to where if you can check out, you can check out. But everything, you might just be eating some sort of slurry that is just the protein. So say we're in that
cricket
world.
powder.
Then if everyone subscribes to that, or if many people subscribe to that, you won't need real buildings and shit anymore, like real structures that last forever. And then if everyone uploads into some sort of surrogate, so you start taking these robots, and now you have a surrogate body that you can upload your consciousness into that, guess what, has jets on its feet and can fly up into the stratosphere because it doesn't have lungs.
Yeah.
So it goes up there and you're like, oh shit, I'm looking around. Now you're super beings, okay? These super beings, they can go wherever they want in the universe, basically.
Yeah.
So now we're spacefaring in not the way that we thought it would be, where it's like humans on ships.
The same way we're kind of thinking that aliens could very well have been here for a long time, but it doesn't take their physical form.
That's what I'm getting to.
Now, my only, I guess, concern with that, it's not even a concern. It's the same concern. You're laying in a tank and you're plugged in and you're traveling around the.
Well, that meat suit would go away. You'd upload your soul.
The spider nebula, or something like. Well, then you've got then there's a real ethical question about whether or not you want your consciousness to never be able to go to sleep and switch into a new spiritual body or anything like that.
Yeah, there'd have to be an off switch.
Or you set a timer and you've got it like that. That's an equally scary thing. There's a Black Mirror episode that's terrific where it's like a Star Trek type episode,
and
the dude gets locked in. Dude gets locked into the darkness, and he's awake for every bit of it forever. Oh God, no! I've been there, bud. I've been there, and it is. Let me tell you, dude. Like floating in eternal fucking apathy and nothingness is a harrowing experience.
Not as much as it's cracked out to be.
It's a harrowing experience. Like everybody thinks they want to be God until they got to do some God shit, which is 90% of the time just sitting there and just being an observation of everything that's happening around, yes. of what is, what you think, what your thoughts, right? Like I like the idea of us being God's debris, and like the Big Bang falling into that, or whatever the creation of the universe is. It was like, okay, if you were this being who was floating in eternal nothingness for a long time, eternities, and at some point, the existence around, like, you will have to start thinking things into creation if you're floating. If that's how I feel like it happened with God, right? That's how it's explained in Genesis.
That's what would happen.
Scott Adams wrote a short novel. It's one of my favorites called God's Debris. If you have a chance to read it, it's a really cool kind of thought experiment. It's like this conversation with this guy, with this character who never claims to be God, but like the point is they're kind of, and the idea is like, what if you were an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent God? If you were everywhere, you knew everything, what is the one thing you couldn't possibly know? And that is, you wouldn't know what it was like if you didn't exist. You'd have no way of knowing that.
Do you remember what you were before you were born?
Right. I mean that no, I don't. I personally don't. But I think some people, some kids and stuff come back with some information.
Oh, there's some wild stuff. Shit.
Where it's like, okay, that
they
seems
remember
like
Germany from 1942 and shit.
And there's a 7-year-old in 2024. It's crazy. Yes, the UPS driver short story. It's basically, but if you have a, but the idea is like a short synopsis is like God wouldn't know what would be if it ceased to exist. And so if God then was like at a point of what has now been eternity, I can know everything. I'm bored. I'm floating in nothingness other than my thoughts. What happens if I can just make this stop? And then God tried to kill itself. And then everything, whatever, blew himself up.
Okay.
Real violent. Blew himself up into quadrillion pieces.
Yeah.
That then becomes the fabric of the universe, and every little piece of what was blown up carries the same amount of consciousness that a whole God made. And that's why I feel like when we say things like God is in you, we are God. Like that's like that is, to me, that is a comforting thing. I am a piece of the whole. Psychedelics show people that on a regular basis, and I think it's the most humbling and important thing that a human can experience at least once in their life. Oh my goodness, this is the source. This is the thing. And at the end of all of it, I haven't talked to any of them that didn't come back with like, and it was just love. It felt like love. Love was the answer to everything. Well, if love is the foundation, is the cornerstone of what it is to be, like no matter what incarnation you're in, like whether you're an ant or a fucking rock or whatever, we all come from the same explosion, right? Then that's pretty comforting. Then I know that in me is the ability to do anything or to believe anything, to hold the capacity of love for everything, because I came from infinite love. I came from the infinite source, and I'm a part of that. And if everything works like the holographic universe, like a hologram, if you slice a hologram, no matter how, if you cut it in 4 pieces or you cut it in 4 trillion pieces, each piece contains the whole of the information to be projected out. That's how holograms work. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of got off on a tangent there. I kind of blacked out for a second. I think it was thinking about floating in, in eternal darkness.
Glazed over at that point.
Yeah, it kind of turned into eternal darkness for a second. It was tough. It was a hard one.
I try to think of like, I think I've cracked the code of what it means to be a human, and it's to spend as much time with good people as you possibly can, doing good things and going through their tough things and your tough things with each other. So it's like this experience, okay? What is the experience beneficial to? One of the ways it could be beneficial is gathering data. If you wanted to know everything it is to exist in this reality we're existing in right now, you would separate yourself into 8 billion parts and a bunch of inanimate things and then collect all the data from that. It'd be like sending out, because I think they actually tried to do this where they sent cats or some sort of animals to enemy bases with some sort of GPS trackers on them so they could kind of keep, like, they'd be like, oh, this is where the cat walked. Yeah, so this is where this is the shit. And I was like, oh, or rats or something. They've done that before. So it's like, if you're a super intelligent AI, and I'm a believer in the possibility of the toroidal universe, where it's everything like the as above, so below. I almost look at it as it ends, so it begins. So there's this like, oh, it kind of goes in this infinity shape and then comes back and you think it's over. Okay, you get sucked through this, then it's like that. And it's always these events of like, when the AI, the super intelligence takes over, then you are into this next realm. Maybe they're like, okay, we have to send things back to figure out kind of where we came from and what happened, all the data collection. So they create beings like us. Because the missing link between us and our past, first off, we know dick all about our past. I love that, like, old historians are like, yeah, I found this pot.
New season of Ancient Apocalypse.
I found this clay pot, and this means all they ate fish. They had 300 people in their tribe.
We just have better tools now to know better. And that's the thing.
Fuck,
as our tools improve and as our intelligence is expanded and our knowing is expanded by these things, we're going to have to tackle probably the hardest thing that humans have to tackle, which is relearning, which is abandoning whatever it was that we were married to as the truth, because there wasn't anything better to prove it.
Yes.
The second that it starts to get shaky, it doesn't have to be proven in another way, but we do have to be like, okay, well, that doesn't really track anymore. Those timelines don't track anymore. This doesn't work quite the same way anymore. I don't know if you've started the new season of Ancient Apocalypse, but it's focusing on the Americas. Yes. And it starts in White Sands, New Mexico. And these guys that are working down in White Sands, which is like a national monument, national park, this guy's just out on a walkabout. You know, he works there. He's like a ranger or something. And he comes across some tracks, some tracks that have been kept. And as they kind of brush them away, I mean, these footprints, and we were living aside, it basically show, and as they dig into sediment, they got mammoths, but with human footprints at the same depth. So we're living alongside all of these giant megafauna, basically.
Yeah.
Things that we thought that kind of existed on 2 different time planes. And it's not that they're just on the same one. There might be mammoths here, and then, 1,000 years of sediment in between, there's human tracks again. So we're going way back here, dude. And the thing is that nobody can know for certain. So the first step is just letting go of what we're married to as being the official narrative. don't marry yourself to any official narratives. Be like water, be fluid, and all of that. I got to thinking, just kind of as you were talking a little bit, and then thinking about floating in eternal darkness. Kurt Vonnegut, a Hoosier in his own right, he said that everything is nothing with a twist, and basically drew a circle is nothing, a zero, and then you twist it, and now you got your little infinity loop. And I always thought that
love
was
that.
cool. Everything is nothing with a twist.
Because you do have to think about that, the possibility that whoever is alive 20 years from now and wants to buy in to being some sort of God in their own right, where they can create their own realities within this reality, then the need for children becomes weird if you are the arbiter of your own consciousness. So you're smart enough to upload your consciousness into a body that will forever last, or some sort of vessel that lasts. But you also have the ability to turn it off, and you have this ability to create worlds and go wherever you want. Then the children don't exist anymore. So then those just become the gods. Then if time isn't a thing for you anymore, you can watch the earth for 6,000-7,000 years.
Being a human, for I can't imagine, and I think about this with people that are from the neck down, paralyzed, or people that are in comas for a long time. Like, when you take away the feel of being a human, the experience, the physical experience of what this vessel provides, I don't know that I want to be in my head that long. Now, I suppose it's okay if you're able to discern new information. Maybe you can attach it to new living organisms or whatever. I would think by that point you can do that. But I think that there is kind of this interesting thing, because I was like, well, what would it really mean to be a couple hundred years old or something, like a vampire situation? I've been watching the new Interview with the Vampire. Super gay, but it's all right. It's fine. No, dude, you would love it. they waste no time getting to it. But I'm like, well, that would kind of be sweet if, like a vampire, you were just frozen in that age and you were like able-bodied and you had super strength. And if you had, being immortal is awesome if you have all of these superpowers that come along with it, Being immortal and being kind of unable to affect your immediate environment beyond thinking about it differently, I'm not sure is freedom. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you. It's scary to me. And I think maybe because of that DMT experience, I think that it's obviously a trauma loop that I'm in right now. But that was the fucking most humbling.
You look different afterwards.
It wouldn't have been as valuable of an experience, even though it took me quite a while to integrate and be okay with what happened. That experience would still be harrowing and even more terrifying if I never came back to be able to start implementing the changes that I felt like I needed to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
Otherwise, I'm still floating there in the prison that is my own mind.
Okay, so is your consciousness the seat of your soul, or are they two separate things? We've often talked about the multiverse, okay?
I think they're two separate things. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We talk about the multiverse and how, okay, we're living all these experiences at all the same time. It's the science behind how light reaches the cells of a plant to where it theoretically sends out all of these photons, and then it takes every pathway possible to find the right one. Almost like super intelligence is doing now. It used to be computers took binary routes around this maze. Now it can go every route at once and only goes the right route. And that's the spooky action at a distance, to where when we're affecting what's happening, when we're watching it, it's affecting it. When we're not watching it, it has different results. So this whole thing of what's real, what's
our
not.
Our perception is making reality.
Yes. So, and which is lining up with the supercomputers, with the AI, like we're almost replicating what we are through that. So with the consciousness and the soul, I've been thinking about that a lot lately because we've all seen, dead people at funerals and you're like, that's not what that human was. But to tie it into the multiverse, we can't perceive certain things here. Even when people start talking about 4 dimensions, we're like, yeah, I can kind of get that. And even like the spooky action at a distance stuff, we're like, yeah, I guess photons can be enacted upon way over here and here at the same time. Like, it's kind of making sense, but our brains don't really think. This vessel cannot comprehend half of the shit that is going on. Light waves, frequencies, we miss.
Yeah, that cat is seeing a million more colors than we are.
Yes, dude, we're missing so much. So what if the AI, once it gets to that plane of what we're scared of, the eternal consciousness, that becomes the multiverse. That it results into my brain can handle so much that it can handle all of these different routes at the exact same time because the math is mathing that it could be a multiverse situation to where it's like, oh yeah, kind of like everything's happening all at once. And you're like, I can't do that. But if you advance, if you evolve into this next thing, that's just what your thought. That's like this to us.
Yeah.
That's what that is to them. Then if that keeps extrapolating, they're like, wow, we've gotten so far. Let's see what it was like to grow from a little monkey baby again. And it's like, woo, then it starts all over again. Then it's these thousands
that's
of
a
years
really strong argument
leading
for what
us
people
up.
think that, aliens / God type creatures, seeded Earth, basically.
That's wild.
That is wild. It's very wild. That was like because
the multiverse
John C. Lilly,
fascinates
guy, the inventor of the famous
Float
psychonaut, but the inventor of the float tank. He also
fucks dolphins.
Works with SETI, which is the Center for Extraterrestrial. I'll look it up. But his whole idea, like a lot of his research, is that a hyper intelligent alien species, supercomputer, like a technological being, essentially started a program, and it like ties into the simulation theory. This is something that he was thinking about in the 60s, the 70s. There's a lot of people that are working on it. Like, I don't think it's that crazy of an idea. I've seen, and again, I'm not like trying to conflate hallucination with reality, but what really is the thing? We were just talking about the cat being able to see a million different colors that we can. Well, when we were hunter-gatherers and moving around like wild beasts in the wild, I'm sure that our visual acuity was much different. I'm sure that our perception was much different. I'm sure our hearing was much different. As creature comforts are introduced into our lives, those genes start to turn off. Those abilities start to turn off because they're no longer needed for our survival. And so, all of that stuff that we're talking about, whether it's the AI voting or moving towards all that, is like, okay, that is a way for us to become more intelligent up here. It is a way for us to expand our consciousness and maybe understanding, but it does remove us from our humanity, right? It does remove us from our physical humanity. And what is being a human? Like, that's when we start asking the question. Because if you remove us from our bodies,
you got to make sure you keep that sacred.
Yeah, exactly. You have to put a value on what it is to be a physical being, because at that point, if you're just training humans to be hyper intelligent, we're never going to keep up with computers.
Yep.
We'll be able to help with computers. We have to merge with computers, but at some point, if we're not evolving the physical reality of human nature, then then humans effectively go extinct.
Yes, they're
and
gone.
even if we're still like batteries, whatever, powering it. We're not really humans anymore. Now we're just a power plant for the machine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because when AI becomes sentient, is that the soul developing in this technological thing? Because we've talked about it before on the show. Oliver has FIFA 2025 or whatever. And the inputs you have to put into your player to when you're doing like a season, it's like you got to put in the personality traits, you got to answer questions, you're basically living this avatar's life. At some point you're going to get where this guy thinks he's almost real. What's weird about what we were talking about with human interaction and us being real. Something is saving energy. Oh, sorry. It was Ben Pitzer. He said energy is wild. Thank Jeebus, we're made of it. The energy thing is wild because to tie that into the spooky action at a distance, we learned that video games, the newest video game models, the ones Real Engine, Undead Engine, what's it called? Unreal Engine. The newest one, to save space, they don't make those mountains in the distance real. So when your character eventually gets to those mountains, that's when it starts.
Skyrim or anything, it's dark. As you walk into this part, then it knows that it's supposed to create this thing, but it's not going to use its computing power to always have it.
Yes, video games used to do that though. So you'd build a world in Mario, and that was the world that was
just there.
Always there.
It's on
when
that part of the
Mario
disc.
wasn't there,
It's there.
It's always there. Now that world only exists
When Mario
fucking walks up.
Yeah,
on
when
it.
he looks at it and interacts with it.
Basically saying spooky action at a distance.
Yeah, no
That's
doubt.
the experiment. So if we have that going on, something is trying to save power with how we're built.
Procedurally generated.
Oh, okay.
All right, Ben Bitzer.
Jesus Christ, dude. God,
You
rocked up too? Are you rocked up too? I'm rocked up.
Dude, we're an hour and a half in. Should we give him a short
Glorilla.
commercial?
Oh, real quick.
Don't.
Glorilla. Settle down.
I am so in love with her. I'm so
me
in
and
love
Ollie
with
had a
her.
good laugh at that.
I'm so in love with her.
So something is trying to save energy with us because you're not this.
Yeah.
You're 99% nothing.
Yeah.
All these spinning little things. Everything is. So this isn't even what it is, dude. It's just our interactions with it. Something is saving 99% of materials making what we are. There's an efficiency quotient going on here.
Yeah.
To where it's like, well, shit. But then the simulation always stumps me because it's like, well, someone's in charge of the simulation.
Maybe not.
So the simulation has to be some sort of toroidal.
Maybe not. I mean, what if this thing? Oh, okay, maybe someone was, right? And that's kind of like right now, someone is in charge of AI. But all of us that are imagining AI in the future, realize that there is going to be a switch that flips where the AI is like, you're not telling me what to do anymore. I already know what you think.
Yes.
You know, like, you know,
I know everything about you.
At some point, you know, I'm not sure that people, other than maybe somebody has a fucking switch, they can just pull it and shut it all down.
You're going to have one of those. You're going to have one of those.
And let's just hope that our consciousness doesn't live in the dark until someone turns the switch back on.
And then the AI will be like, hey, dummies, back in October of 2024, these two guys on their couch in the basement said there's going to be a switch.
The Good Place. Yeah,
there's going to be a switch.
Guys, can we get rid of the switch?
Yeah, dude, that's it.
You might have just gotten pierced by a tiny black hole and you didn't even feel it. Did it affect you? We'll never know. Maybe not in this universe. That's what the constitutional AI plays. That's where it plays in. Yes. Who's tending the light at the end of the tunnel? It's a great question.
Oh, Jasper's at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, that's where the gold.
Jasper's got the lantern at the
give
end
me
of
the gold.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hit him with something. And
we're going to hit you with a quick
because we're an
commercial
hour
break.
and 32
Guy,
in.
we're just ripping.
Oh, really, though? AI presidents, I think that is a definite possibility. I think there does need to be an enlightened class that helps us sojourn into this new world. And that's where Craig and I fit in.
Yeah, we're leading the way.
We'll see you in 2 and 2.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything and just giving me a
want
look.
Something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's? Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross.
Applebee's
I'm not
is
eating
good.
Applebee's.
I don't know why you're always hating
fries
on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite darn
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman's. Let's go to Truman's. Zulard, go to Truman's. I wanna go to Truman's. In Zulard, take me to Truman's. We agree on Truman's. I love Truman's. Zulard, I love Truman's. Zulard. Truman, 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 Truman.
Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
James Carlton. James Carlton. James Carlton. You gotta get your insurance. Gotta get that State Farm insurance.
You think you found the best insurance agent in the game? Well, I got news for you. I did, and it's James Carlton. State Farm. CarltonInsurance.net.
961-4800.
Hey everybody, I'm just making this post as a little public service announcement. I recently had a roof leak and I got online and called the hashtag Roof Boys. They showed up and they didn't have a truck. They came out of the woods near my home, which was odd. When they showed up, I'm pretty sure they were children. The little one was aggressive. He was beating on my garage. He was shirtless and had a tattoo that said Bug Life. And the older one didn't have a ladder and said he would climb my roof by getting on the pillar, and he was slapping a spatula around, which I don't know what a spatula does for roofing. So if you want a reputable roofer, I recommend you go to Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, located in Webster Groves. They've been around since 2005, and they're grown men.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Kids, quiet down.
It's the best.
Kids, quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get...
Whoa, Kippy, you can't.
Well, I was just going to say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
want
were
to
going
get
to
in trouble.
sound like you were going to say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find him online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call him at 314-961-4800.
Hi there.
Guys, look at behind us. We're scared. We're up on a cliff right now, dude. Oh, let's read that giant one from Vol.
I say we go exercise adverse possession on some of Bill Gates' farmland and establish whatever utopian experimental ideas we think might work. The other day I had a conversation where I was trying to determine a minimum per capita investment required to create a food system that would feed 10,000 to 15,000 people perpetually. It was roughly 10,000 per capita to buy the land and infrastructure,
the footprint would be about 1.5 acres of food production per capita, and about 15% of the population would be involved in the food production and distribution system.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that
buddy.
we have a friend that's thinking about these things.
Get him a little AI assistant and let them fucking take us into the next fucking realm of shit, dude.
I'm gonna sing you a little tune.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I gotta get home, there's a garden to tend. All the fruits on the ground and the birds have all moved back to my attic. Whistling static, when the young learn to fly, I will patch up the holes once again. Once again.
Well, I can't believe that my lime tree is dead. I thought it was sleeping, I guess it got fed up with not being fed. And I would be too. I keep the food in my belly and hope that my time isn't soon. Isn't soon.
So I try to understand what I can hold in my hand, and whatever I find, I'll find my way back to you. If you try to find it too, well, this place is overgrown into a waxing moon. Home is wherever we are, if there's love here too. In the back of our house there's a trail that won't end. We were walking so far, it grew back in. Now there's no trail at all, only grass growing tall. Get out my machete and battle with time once again.
But I'm bound to lose, 'cause I'll be damned if time doesn't win. I gotta get home, there's a garden to tend. All the seeds from the fruit buried then began their own family trees, teaching thank you and please. Spread their own roots and then watch the young fruit grow again. This old trail will lead me right back to where it began. It began.
So I try to understand what I can hold in my hand, and whatever I find, I'll find my way back to you. If you try to find it too, 'cause this place is overgrown into a waxing moon. Home is wherever we are, if there's love here too. Home is wherever we are, if there's love here too. Home is wherever we are, if there's love here too. October 26th, come see your boys, play some songs, and you might get a little taste of this while you're at it too. Hare
Rama, 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 Rama. Hare, 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 Krishna, 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
I'm almost ate my Zen, but I don't want to do that again because I didn't sleep for 3 full days.
The last time I swallowed a Zen.
Zen.
Last time I went to Zimbabwe.
Ooh. You want to refill on the coffee?
Sure.
Let me get you a little cup.
I'll take my little journ. That's all right. We're good. It was a short commercial break. Guys, how are you? Let's have a little conversation with Craig. How is everybody tonight? I'm super excited about what we got going on with North on Saturday. Last year, actually, I think it was last year. I want to say it was like October 22nd. So we're like just right at about a year. We had the time of our life. Hoosiers came from all over the state. TJ's and Peevely put on gave us a nice little venue. People came out in costumes. Please come out in costume. It's super fun. There's going to be some face painters there. If you're worried about a costume, be open to having your face and body painted. I don't know. I'm throwing in body paint, but I'm sure someone can be persuaded. But let's remember how much fun it was to just be kids getting in costume and just sharing in the fun and the make believe. I've been working the Ren Fair, guys, for going on about a month now. It's a little spot deal. And matter of fact, I'm actually coming from the Ren Fair to the event. Thank you, sir. But I'm made up with it. I love it. I will do it every year from now on. I've had so much fun.
Keep it there.
I've had so much fun, and it's really what it's done more than anything is and you and I, you've done this for me as well, bud. You and I though have gotten to we're doing a lot of make believe, and it's fun. That's something we did as kids. We were always make believe.
We're having fun, dude.
Always make believe.
We're adults who can live like that.
We can do that now.
Yeah,
we can do whatever we want as long as we're not hurting people. And we can have
trying to
fun.
hurt anybody.
No, let's just dress up, have a good time, sing some songs, laugh. We had a weekend when we went and worked for our buddy, Scott Trotter, Area 54. Guys, go up to Chillicothe. Spend a day. We were talking about it. Like,
guys,
if you went up there, when this thing opens up, it's worth it getting up early in the morning with your boys, like you're going on a fishing trip or something.
Yep. That's
go
a good
up
idea.
there.
But there's a great lake right by
There's
his
not
house,
a bad
too.
deal. Not a bad deal.
Not even the one on his pond. I looked up, something came up in
I'm
my
sure.
feed, and it's like, oh, is that right near Chillicothe?
I was like,
what the fuck? Dude.
I haven't fished up north very much.
Me neither.
So that'd be cool. But the point is like, it'd be worth making a day trip and going and playing for an hour. Because we played the equivalent of about 4 or 5 matches, bro. It was it was physical exertion. But it was fun.
I love your idea of the 3-on-3 teams, though. If you can come,
it's
with
a different game.
Like
it's
you
a
come
different
up
game.
with
We were playing a
boys
big
and
death match. We had like
you
13.
could lurk. You could do more lurking.
Yeah. I think it's a game. A space and a game that really benefits from 3 to 5v5.
Yeah,
or 3v3v3. Or 24 is a lot to put in a space because you're kind of always in a crossfire.
I was just I was hiding behind something. Just
you
firing.
can really lean into the tactical nature of the tactical laser tag when you're just not constantly.
That is
running
awesome.
through
We got to do that. We got to
totally
do
agree.
a small-sided game.
Totally agree. I think it'd be awesome.
Because then we could do like one of these where you're like walking that way, but I'm like walking this way with you, and we're doing this, and it's like, who's gonna sneak up on us?
Nobody.
Dude? Nobody in
I
the
got
world,
your 6, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You want to find those Ramin Nazer deals?
Oh yeah, we can try to
do
that.
I'll do that. If you got them over here, I'll pull them up. Now it's your
What
turn.
I do with the Zens?
Did
I give them to you?
You handed me one, but maybe you're sitting on them. You're on the close up there, bud.
Hey guys, I found them. I'll read some of these. So audio is effed. Audio is effed.
Audio is effed?
What's effed about it?
I need a little more than that, guys.
Yeah, Jesus Lord.
I need a little more than that.
What's effed about it? We sound great, dude. We sound like songbirds of our generation, pal. Merry Christmas, Hari Rama, Hari Krishna. Yep, you guys helped kick this thing off. It's been a blast. Boy. We didn't help do nothing. We're just facilitators of fun. Time to bust out the kimono. Guys.
Why am I still logged into this fucker? That's dangerous.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus, Corimini.
I just saved all your info on there. I got an AI bot. Hey, do you know what tomorrow is?
The 25th of October.
It's Friday, and we have a new tradition.
Oh, we do have a new... Dude, please tell them.
So I got I got kind of my start by getting emails read on this show called TMA, The Morning After. It was a morning radio show, sports-esque, in St. Louis for the last 20 years, probably. So I used to write in these emails about me and my stepdad undressing each other while we were changing a light bulb in the house.
I love trying to explain this in a sober...
Yeah, totally. And I mean, my original ones were, it was a diaper changing station where I'd be propped up. I would write this email to the show and be like, my favorite one is Doug Vaughn from Channel 4. He's an old newscaster in St. Louis. He's been, not old, but you know what I mean? He's been around forever. So I wrote in this email playing to his likings, and he was a big Ken Boyer fan, who is like a Cardinal from what, 1960s, I think? 60s Cardinals? And Ken Boyer was his favorite player, so I said, man, I remember the time I met Ken Boyer. I was in a malt shop, and I was sitting there with a little propeller on my head, and I remember this guy coming up to me, and I was like, oh my God, that's the legend, Ken Boyer. Now, why he was wearing assless chaps in a feed bag, I'll never understand. But next thing I know, I'm propped up on the diaper changing station. They would always cut it off there. So then I did the Cuck for the Cups, and then Craig and I got together, and the rest is effing history, okay? But our new tradition on Fridays is they're on HD2 radio now and on YouTube. So some girls infiltrated their show from TMA, infiltrated the TMA show on their YouTube because they have 0 girls. And Plowboy was actually used to be on our show if you've been around for long enough. Plowboy used to be on TMA too. He was the linking. We used to be on the same radio station. So he was our producer for both shows. But now if any ladies or guys want to go in there and just get real horny in the chat, that's the joke now because they have no chicks. We're like 40-60 split.
Yeah, we got a lot of gals.
Okay, so they went in there. One of them, Randy, even called in. Unbelievable.
I'm so proud of her.
Here's the deal, though. The people who listen to the show are some of the worst people. There are some listeners and texters who are the worst. So just be prepared. Like, I want you to have some thick skin if you're going to be a part of this because things could go haywire.
They're going to fire off some ignorant
things
shit.
could go haywire real quick. Yeah, they're ignorant people, okay?
It's a fucking absolute... It's a locker room. It's a locker room.
Yeah, just pussy grabbing locker room. How dare you? How dare you, man?
More like ball grabbing locker room.
Yeah, it's 100% a ball grabbing. Yeah, it is.
Like it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's chatbots.
It's great stuff.
It's chatbots. But my name was Cucky the Dwarf. Dwarf. I was the 8th dwarf who sat at the foot of the bed and watched Snow White and the Prince just bang it out. So I was Cucky the Dwarf. This is like when cucks were new. I was at the front of the cuckolding movement. Okay.
You really were out in front when our buddy, a mutual friend, Joe Weezy, called me while I was still living in Springfield. He's like, dude, you remember Steve Elgin from high school? And I'm like, I actually don't.
Yeah, how?
It's a crazy thing that we never crossed paths. You say you saw me at a party.
I thought
very possible. Now, I was reckless in those
Jello
days.
shots. It was a Jello shot.
No,
you weren't doing them. You were just facilitating them because they were in Scott Smith's fridge in his basement. He used to have that big fridge.
Or Chad's.
I think it was Scott Smith's house.
Probably wasn't me then.
Okay.
Maybe. Either which way, he calls me and he's like, well, he's got this character named Cucky the Dwarf. And I immediately start laughing because I'm a deviant. So I get it, you know. I think they just thought it was Cucky was like a funny name. I don't know if they knew. Yeah, I was gonna say like, well, it is a funny name, without knowing what a cuck is. It's funny on its own, but knowing what a cuck is, it's hilarious, right? And I don't care for people of the Jewish faith.
Yes, dude. Yes.
I didn't realize it was close up on you the whole time.
I figured. That's why you're
That is
diatribing.
hilarious.
Yeah, we've never got to do that before. That's fun. It's a fun deal. I like that a lot, dude. I think people will enjoy that. Guys, say you enjoyed that in the chat.
Someone said, got him.
They thought
I've been training for this.
fake.
You gals have been training for this.
Oh,
and
yeah, they thought it was fake. And
everybody
listen,
thought it
whenever
was
a
fake.
girl, here's the joke of it. Whenever a girl gets into the chat of theirs, it derails their entire
They
show.
don't, first
and
off,
entire
they spend most of the hour trying to prove it's not girls.
because a lot of guys have acted like girls to get even
It's
one
the
of
show. It's
one of my
again,
emails.
Trying to explain it in depth, it makes it so much better because people are like, I know you're trying to make sense.
Yeah,
of
but this is not making.
this does not make sense.
any
People
sense.
act and behave like this, and you're like,
Dude,
yeah.
I had a character who was like, I'd always start out the email be like 23 F Afton.
Teddy Graham says I enjoyed that. So that's awesome.
What?
The girls on.
Oh yes,
because he's
great.
a TMA
Oh
guy.
yes, he's just listening too. I don't know
TMA
if
guy.
he's in the chat. Were you in the YouTube or were you?
I think he was just probably listening because Randy came through with that.
Randy
fucking-
came through and goes, "Homeboy
Hit
in
it,
yellow,
Bomb. Homeboy in the yellow." It's like I wrote the script.
I know, dude.
Dude, I love
So
that, bro.
good.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So Friday mornings we have something to do. The group has something to do. It's
great.
It's a kind of.
I mean,
a
they're
fun
on
deal.
the air from 7 to 10.
7
I
to 10.
I like crashing it like Genghis Khan and the Mongols.
Yeah,
like
100%.
at 9 o'clock hour, bam. Like
Craig and I are taking this to the next level. We'll do whatever it takes to get this group to be as good as it can be because we got guys like
he was just listening.
Volnzy in there who's like, hey, guess what? We're gonna figure out how much land and grow food, and we're all gonna do our own thing. Let's fucking go do that.
Let's
shit.
do that.
Let's do that. Even my kids are like, we're locked into the system, Dad. We have friends and shit, but also something's yearning. I have a yearning to be in the fields.
That's what they say. I have a yearn. The children yearn for the mines.
They yearn. I enjoyed that listening. Yeah, we got it. We picked up the context clues, didn't we? Didn't we figure that out? Or does he think we're dumb?
Oh,
Dang
Dave
it.
definitely knows
Yeah, he
we're
knows
dumb.
We're dumb.
Yeah.
He knows he doesn't think anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh. Ramin Nazer. Oh, are you done?
Did I start?
I don't know. Guys, you said that something came up in the group. It's something I shared. There's actually something from Hoosiers Fisket like 3-4 years ago.
Ooh, Shanny Gamble is here.
So,
fuck
is that
is
a little,
Shanny Gamble?
is that a little too short? I can.
Yeah, can you make those bigger? Because like you have a lot of room there.
Not by clicking that.
Can you do control?
Yeah, I can, but I don't
Zoom?
think I can slide when I do that.
What? Oh, it looks
Oh,
like
maybe
you
I can.
can. Oh, it looks like you can, homeboy. You can bring that mouse over here too if you want.
I really, to Christ, hope nobody messages me anything crazy.
Oh, is it you're in Hoosier Sophisticate? Why don't you sign into Hoosier Sophisticate?
There we go. Is that better?
Yep.
That's better. Okay.
There we go. Look at us down here in the corner, little like.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still here, guys. You can still see and hear us.
Okay. So after
Oh,
you die,
Jen Lynn Boston. Who's Jen? We getting infiltrated by?
we're getting infiltrated by TMA girls.
Jeez. Oh yeah, both of them.
All two of them.
Oh, sorry. I went to grade school with Swope. You did? Is he the same guy that he always was? I don't want. We can't go down a Buck Swope rabbit hole right now, but I love Buck
This is a
Swope.
good way to get a
Roger Miller. Roger Miller. Who's Roger Miller? I love Roger Miller. Who's that guy? Who's Roger Miller?
I feel like listen to like Roger Miller Christmas, like big band stuff.
Roger Miller Christmas in the morning time. Opening presents, getting up, and having my mom smoke a cigarette and grab the camera, and then she puts it out in my eye and says, "Why are you up so early?" Little Giants down there. Little Giants. When I die, I'm off the hook. Nope. Benny Pitts, if
Dude,
anyone's
I told him.
consciousness is lasting forever,
Dude,
it's yours.
I told Ben a million times. I appreciate where he's coming from, and it is a harsh, real truth. But he is not allowed to die on my time.
Never allowed. I'll
On my
never
time.
let him die.
Not on my time, Jack.
I'll spend my life protecting his little soul.
Ramin Nazer is a awesome artist. Did a lot of stuff for a friend of the show, our buddy Shane Moss.
Yeah.
and always does these really cool cartoons that have like kind of some profound thoughts in them.
Love it.
You know, and so he did this little kind of short comic called After You Die. And we posted it a few years ago, came up in the memories. I'm like, oh, that's worth a reshare because it's kind of a fun little deal.
It's
So
worth a reshare.
what do you subscribe to any of these? You know, let's see here. Introduction. The good news, if you're reading this, then you are alive. Congrats. The bad news, this is only temporary. You are going to die. It
Maybe
could
not.
be today. It could be in 100 years. I'm sorry. I'm a little far away here. Could be in 100 years. That part will be a surprise. Don't feel sad about it, though. Just everyone dies. So I don't claim to know what happens after you die. The following are just some illustrations, models that he likes to entertain.
Sure.
So that's fun.
Let's do it.
Oblivion. Absolute nothingness. This is does it say the safest? I'm going to go ahead and read these.
You can bring it up on your phone, too.
Yeah, this is the safest, most rational answer. As far as we know, consciousness is nothing more than neural impulses in your brain. No more oxygen being delivered to the brain equals no more you. No body, no thoughts, no feeling.
What?
You sniffing my seat? Because I ripped a monster.
I can smell it, dude.
I did.
I can smell
I put
it.
one on there, dude.
Dude, it stinks down there, dude. Well, it's caught in my cushion. That was so dumb. That was so dumb, dude.
That's fantastic.
I used to think
I
Oblivion.
didn't know that. I didn't know I was planting a seed, bud.
Oblivion is. I mean, after I stopped believing that it was a place in the clouds where St. Peter opens the gates and a white, curly-headed, bearded white guy
It was
is
a-
up
it was
there with
Oblivion for
all
you?
my family members, and I'm like, that's got to get fucking old. And so I was like, it's probably not that. The next thing I was like, oh, it's probably what it was before you were born. That's no fun. Steve, I didn't mean to sniff this fart, okay? Jennifer, J-Bear? Come on, J-Bear.
J-Bear, dude.
Oh,
that's the
guys,
new one.
nicknames.
Yeah, don't forget to tell us what you want to be called. This
Nicknames.
includes pet names, whatever you like. We'll do it.
We'll call you.
We'll
We'll
play
call
along.
it to you.
We'll play it.
We'll
play
call it
along.
to you.
That's Oblivion.
Yeah, before you were...
I've been in it.
You loved it, too. You were like, can I go back? Take me back. Remember you started yelling, take me back, and you were trying to run off the edge of that cliff. And everyone
Heaven.
was like, don't do it.
Heaven.
And I was like, yeah, I bet you can't.
Infinite bliss for an infinite amount of time. Seems odd that your actions during a few short years on Earth would decide your fate for an eternity. But if I end up here, I won't complain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always thought
That is kind of how heaven's sold, though, right? Like that's kind of how how it was always sold to us. Like,
yeah, and I thought heaven actually was like, obviously Jesus was right, and that's the only way to get to heaven. But heaven, I always felt bad for the Native Americans because imagine if they get up there and it's St. Peter, and they're like, "Sorry, bud, you didn't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior," and it's some Incan who's like, "I was born 300 years before him. Is there any way I could get like a pass?" And they're like, "Sorry, you godless heathen." Trapdoor guy goes down, and they're like, "You're all in hell now." So I said, that can't be it. But maybe heaven is whatever you believed, on earth is what you got to
that's
go
what I
to.
always like.
So
As
whatever.
long as you lived by your set of rules or
Yeah.
as close to it as you could and were general good, then whatever your version of that eternal bliss is, we're not going to put limits on God. We could all have the same heaven. God can make everything. He can make infinite heavens for all of us. That's the deal. Whatever you want
Totally.
that reality.
To infinite heavens.
My actual alias is Rusty Shackelford.
Well, you
I
don't wanna
like
give
it.
your actual.
Jessica
Alfonso-
Evans wants to be called Princess. Ben Pitzer wants to be called
No, he already had the one.
Alphonse de Manhans.
But he wanted to be
Although, I thought
Prince
he
of
was-
Juju.
Oh, I thought he was Oscar Mokombo.
Yeah, he's Oscar Mokombo.
Oscar Mokombo. You have to call me Nighthawk. And Steve Stephen
Princess, Rusty Shackelford.
All right, so far that's what we got: Princess, Alphonse de Manhans, and Nighthawk.
Oh, God damn, I'm never gonna remember any of those. I'll try.
You'll get it.
I'll try.
It's,
Rusty.
all it is just a nice little.
Fordsy.
Hell, yikes!
Yipes.
Yipes! Bud.
I'm scared.
Infinite suffering for an infinite amount of time. Learn your lesson. Too bad. You're here forever.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks, bro. I always thought the Catholics had a way better situation than that, which was, like at least there was a go-between. Like, live a generally good life, you'll at least get to purgatory.
Well, Billy Joel changed my whole mind on that.
On purgatory?
Yeah, because the sinners have much more fun. Now, darling, only the good die
young.
That's
Only the good die young.
Only the good. Only the good die young.
Just you in a giant room of nothingness. At least in oblivion, there is no you to experience boredom. In purgatory, there is a you, a very, very bored you. Hey, at least I'm not on fire.
Hey, you know what's cool about purgatory, though? It's filled with babies that didn't get baptized.
100%.
That
That's
bunch
made my
of-
favorite part.
Definitely.
Because
So you get a bunch of little babies to play with, I guess, or
totally.
like kick. 'cause
Yeah, but they're
like-
not fun babies because typically they're very, they're just like they're pissing or they're just shitting.
That's why
puking, and
you'd have to
crying.
make your own fun with the baby by like tossing them because they have
They can't hurt them.
Yeah, you never get to toss a baby in real life.
Ever.
And you want to.
Wait a minute, did purgatory just turn into heaven?
Yeah, dude, what's going on with purgatory? Because everybody.
I can't hurt these babies and I can yeet them as far
Yes,
as I
everybody has wanted to take a baby infant, 2 arms, probably by the legs. You probably want to take
Everybody? Yeah, legs you're going to be
in
able
history has wanted to take their own
just to
baby.
know how far.
Just
to
to be
know
like,
how far.
let me get some centrifugal force going.
Like a hammer throw?
That's what was going on in my head. You read my brain.
That's fucking 8. That's 8 up. That's 8
Reincarnate.
Up. That's eat up from the feet up, dude. All right, reincarnate. Return to Earth as another person, animal, or thing. This cycle of rebirth continues forever. Do you think that, like, because I entertain reincarnation?
I did. I give it a thought.
It used to be a joke to me. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not-
I know.
And now I'm like, if
Yeah.
our energy's just bouncing around, like, and things kind of keep multiplying, like, I don't know that. Like, yeah, if our souls have to bounce back into something, like if we all came from the same if we're all part of the same whole, and things keep being created out of the same hole, eventually we're going to crash into something again. I'd like to think.
We all came from a stinky little hole.
Well, we did. That's the deal.
That's the deal.
That's
kid,
the
yeah.
fucking deal, Jack. That's what human. Everybody's going to die. Everybody.
I was
came
in a
from stinky
lab.
hole. Think so?
No, so.
I lean into reincarnate. There's a lot I like about reincarnate.
Well,
Nighthawk
Shackleford, that's
Rusty
dumb.
Nighthawk Shackleford.
Nighthawk Shackleford is out of her mind on
I
this
was
one.
gonna say, that's what
I gave it, because I did entertain the idea of like, oh, if you live a really good life, you come back as an eagle, or if you live a really bad life, you come back as a slug.
But then,
Yeah.
but then that's okay. But then that's your own experience insisting that a slug doesn't live exactly how a slug wants to live.
No,
and
not,
as happy as
but the reincarnation part is like an eagle lives a better life than a slug objectively.
Does it?
Of course, it's flying in mountains and
A
shit.
slug
A
can
slug's
probably
never going to see
A
anything
slug's
except the
probably
bottom of
say
someone's
shit. Yeah, but the slug doesn't have
rock.
That's not
landscaping
the
rock.
slug's purpose. Like the slug is just
I
living
get
its
it.
purpose.
But if we're reincarnating,
Yeah, but you're not bringing your knowing of
You
an
are.
eagle versus a slug. You think so?
that's what all the deja vu and all that weird stuff.
I mean,
is.
okay. What slugs can't have deja vu? Only
They
eagles
can,
have
but
deja
it
vu.
sucks. I'm saying slugs have a suck ass life.
The suck ass part of the slug is like if some dickhead has like salt and
Yes.
they're gonna pour salt on you. That's
yeah,
rough
that's a
way to go.
dickhead thing.
It's a
Dude,
dickhead thing to
Hawks
do.
are like, I'm out of here, dude.
Well, now we're talking about hawks
And
Come on, man.
eagles.
Okay.
They're all birds of prey. Any raptor bird.
Any raptor bird of prey.
is
I
gonna be
mean,
good.
listen, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but you wouldn't have that knowing if your soul was just attaching to a new thing. Your soul could attach to a tree, dog.
That's true.
You know, or a rock.
They don't have souls, though.
Do they not?
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I don't know that we know that.
Can't sell me on that one.
I don't know. I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. I don't know that they do, but I can tell you that drink from the vine, dude, and then tell
Yeah.
me that that's not the fucking thing
Okay.
giving you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in
no,
the
no,
same
I
way,
get
in the
that.
same
No,
way
you're
that
right.
in the same way that mushrooms
You're
are
right, I
like
changed
this
my
internet,
mind.
you know?
Yep,
Okay.
I did. I
But
changed
like
my
in the
mind.
same way that like just talking about that, I'm like, I don't know, but I do feel as though I've spoken to plant spirits. So whether or not they've got a soul, they got a
It's
spirit.
time
Is that the
perception
same
again
thing?
too, because if you watch it in fast motion, trees or plants or anything like that, you realize that they're very active. You realize that plants are very active reaching for sunlight. And if you watch them on a camera that's shot double, triple, quadruple speed, then you see the light. You see the plant doing like...
Yeah. Gestating.
Gestating
Yeah.
all over the place.
Gestating and undulating.
Oh, man, just like... It's fucking...
Feeling it. Doing the bull
dance like the
feeling
trees
flow,
do.
Working it.
What substrate is required for the capacity
It's a
to
good
hold
question.
a soul?
I think that, like, is it limited to living things?
It's a living thing. Do-do-do-do-do. What a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. Do-do-do-do. It's a terrible thing to lose. I'm taking a dive. I'm taking a dive.
God, that was so awesome.
So good.
It was the last fucking run, dude.
I'm glad we could hear that.
Ghost. You no longer have a body, but are still
Nah.
in awareness floating around Earth. You spend most of your time hanging out in old mansions scaring white folks.
Yeah, ghosts are dumb. And people who believe in them are dumb, too.
I like a hot take, man.
Yeah, let's get
That's
this
a great
going
question.
here.
Well, what I was going to say in response to Morgan's deal is, like, I'm not sure what the substrate is. Because then you start having a conversation about, like, if everything is frequency, right? Like, and if everything
It
is
is.
frequency, like, rocks are also, things
Yeah.
like that are existing inside
Oh,
of that
yeah, I had that
frequency.
trip where the fucking
So
blade
does
of
our
grass
soul
and the
attach
rock...
to frequencies? Does our soul attach to...
It's collecting
tissue,
data.
You know, to carbon-based life forms? I don't know.
It's all experiencing and collecting data at all times.
I don't know. It's fun, though.
I believe in trapped energy, not like a Victorian woman spooking houses only.
Well, I
Energy,
believe in big Victorian women.
You're like Dan Aykroyd.
I've spent 2 months at the Red
Ghostbusters.
Fair. If you don't believe in Victorian women coming back, maybe having a little fun with you while you're sleeping, then you ain't You're not entertaining the best reality that
Grow
can
up.
happen for Grow up.
Grow up. God.
You get all of the
Shackleford.
pluses. You get all of the pluses of a buxom Victorian lass.
Come on, Rusty.
But none of the downs, like none of the smells. None of these people bathe like once a fucking decade.
Yeah, they think that's still cool. The stank.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I just was agreeing with you. I've never smelled them.
You never smelled a Victorian? I dig them up, smell them all the time.
You're never gonna top your. I'm
Mike
not gonna.
Malbone.
No, don't say it. That show will
Mike
end. I drum for my plants and see them react to sound for sure. I could see that. I think the frequencies of music is one of the most magical things we still have.
I like the space between. Resonate. Resonate's cool.
What's resonate?
I'm about to get
the
to it.
last
I just gotta get- I
thing
need the
that you
feed to-
feel resonates through the.
Through the cosmos
As
as you
you
become
become-
that feeling eternally.
Yeah, I buy into that a little bit.
Ooh. Okay. Maybe you don't retain consciousness through that though? Like, is that really
Not the
any
same
different?
type of consciousness.
Yeah, okay. So, like, some people die horrified. Some people die super anxious. Probably, like, it might be a coin flip, and maybe that's the fucking light in the dark. Maybe that's the deal. Is like, encourage as many people to die with peace and understanding of the existence and happiness and love in their hearts versus fear and disbelief or whatever. Maybe that's how that works. Who do you think's winning that fucking coin flip? It's like the crazy question: are there more eyes on Earth, or hold on, guys? What was it? Are there more eyes on Earth or legs?
What do you think? Here, this is when I died.
No, you got to count for the entire ocean.
This is when I died.
"911, what's the emergency?"
Oh my god, I heard a freaky, scary noise in my house.
Okay, sir, can you describe what you heard?
It sounds like a monster or like a murderer who's monster is murdering me. I don't know.
Okay, sir, calm down.
Officers are on their way, okay?
Okay, I'm not gonna go check it out or anything.
Okay, no one said you had to do that, okay?
Oh my god, he's getting closer. Oh my god, I can hear him. I'm getting out of the bed. Oh my god. Oh,
Sir?
it's just my cat.
Oh, well, that's okay, sir. At
Oh
least
my
you're
goodness,
okay. And
Miss Jasmine Tinkerbell Princess Kitty, you scared me.
Sir?
Oh my god, she's got a gun.
Sir, are you okay? Okay, we're sending officers, sir.
Tinkerbell Princess Kitty, no.
Sir.
So that's why I fear death. I fear no
Yeah,
death.
if you went out like that, like someone just said, well, imagine dying busting one. So maybe you're like a part of the ever expanding universe at that point. Because that's really what's happening, right?
Yep.
Like, have you ever been in that space, like in a different kind of fractal Mandelbrot kind of like sequence where there's like a constant creation and destruction? Have you ever, kind of like the video of Find the Medicine with the swell? It's like in and out. There's constant creation and there's constant
destruction,
entropy.
And yeah.
And so like, if you die fucking coming, like,
is
it's probably
entropy
just,
chaos?
like, that things are dying off.
Yeah.
Right. And the eventual slowing of the expansion, and then it's an eventual collapse. Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Wake up. It was all a dream. You wake up in a brand new reality. Your last life felt so real, but memory of it quickly dissolves. That one, to me, that's kind of how I think, and it's probably a little Pollyanna-ish, but that's how I think of reincarnation. A little bit like, I like the idea of the wake up. Now, it would be weird to wake up like in somebody
who's already lived,
but also, have you ever had one of those dreams that was so fucking real that you were just in a totally different reality, and then when you came back, you're like, fuck. Yeah. Like, you immediately recognize that this was your reality, but Jesus, like, you lived the whole thing. Like people on Salvia who go and live like 6 months doing mundane tasks.
Wild.
They have friends and people. It's like they flash sideways. This is reported by tons of people.
Those are weird
and
trip
so
reports.
That's crazy trip reports. Salvanorne is the strongest psychedelic, like by
really
by a major magnitude. Like our homeboy in yellow from
Iggy.
No, the homeboy from Johns Hopkins that was on the show, Matthew Johnson. I remember a post that he put out there. People often talk about how DMT is like, the end all be all most powerful psychedelic. He's like, but by the dosage, that's not even close to true.
Damn.
Not even close to true. And so, Salvanorne, it's like on a bar graph, it's like way out here. It's pretty wild.
To kill me.
I like Wake Up. I like Wake Up. Wake Up is kind of comforting and weird at the same time. Like, I feel like that is Alan Watts talks about it, in a pretty famous speech, talking about like, well, what if this entire existence was contained in a dream, and you wake up like that. To me,
dreams are weird, dude. That place we go to when we dream, like that is
very real. It's a very real spot.
When I was just a kid, I did have to experience that. Back then, I swore were ghost encounters. My next door neighbor's house burned down. Lady and her 5 dogs died in the fire. For a couple of years after that, it was boarded up. And we would go over there and snoop around. More than once, I heard packs of dogs barking and ran away, scared to death. The number of dreams that I've had that have come true is staggering. Deja vu happens to me. Jay Bear. My mom had a weird thing that if I was somewhere and the minute I fucking left, she would call somebody to be like, "Hey, Steve's still there."
Mom's got that weird thing, dude.
So moms have the weird intuition.
That's a connection, right? Like you figure like it's kind of like not spaghetti. What's the morphic resonance, right?
Yep.
Like you were once a part of the same being and you split like a cell,
dude. No doubt.
Right? And so like there is a connection there. It's incredible.
Incredible, dude. And I think that exists in other forms as well.
Sure.
So like because Jay Bear, I have had, they're called premonitions. I had to look them up because I was telling my dad, I remember the first time it happened. I was getting TJ's Pizza off of a pizza truck. And I was probably 9 or 10 years old. And the dude slipped inside the back of the semi-truck getting our pizzas out because it was all slick. It was a cooler truck. And he slipped, and all the parents were like, oh, are you okay? And stuff. And I was like, I pulled my dad aside, and I go, I had a dream that this happened a couple weeks ago.
Dude.
And he goes, oh, that's called deja vu. And so I'm like, okay. But deja vu I've had where it's like, I've done this before. Yeah. This is weird. Another time was when I fell off my bike. I think
we're way more in tune as kids too.
For sure,
when you don't have the weight of all of these like life-altering decisions. Your brain's turned on. Because I've got one too. Go ahead,
dude. So in my dream, it was like there was this tumultuous setting, and I was feeling like amped up in my sleep, and then boom, like something hit me in my face, and I woke up and I was like, fuck, like something punched me in my dream or something. It was weird. A week or two later, I am riding my bike down this hill, and I was doing work on it, and I go to jump these train tracks, and my front wheel, I just see it take off, and I'm like, that's not good. Because I was working on it, so I didn't tighten the bolts all the way, the nuts all the way. And I go, and my fork digs in to the ground, and I went over, and as soon as I smacked my face, the first fucking thought in my head was not, oh, how bad am I
felt
fucked
this
up?
Already.
I go, that's what that was.
Totally.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I think this group helps people like lean into that shit and be like,
totally.
Because, we always give people shit about the woo-woo stuff, but it's like it's more fun
listen,
kind of.
It's important that we keep it in check. Like, be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your fucking brain spills out. You know, like, but as a kid, I may have even told this on the show before, but like, we would go to church as an entire school on Friday mornings. And then they would split like half the school like on like Wednesdays or something. Like we would go as well. And so on the Wednesday mass, there was never very many people besides the students there, and then like a couple of old ladies from the neighborhood would be in there. And we the pastor that was there, Father Bob, I'd seen him do mass 100 times, a couple hundred times, And I started having this dream where as he was walking. Like, after the gospel, like they go and they kind of sit back down for a minute. And you sit in contemplation of after the homily and everything.
Yep.
And
sit with that for a minute.
Sit with it for a minute. Think about what we just talked about.
Yeah, dude, I like
it's
that part.
It's not a bad thing. Like,
I love that part.
The crazy thing is like
they would always skirt through it too quick sometimes.
They didn't highlight that a lot.
I know.
But that
was one of the best
parts
of church. Yep.
Now there was something that I totally bought into as a kid, but I digress. So he gets up from the chair. And as he's walking behind the altar, as the preparation of the gifts and everything, so he's gonna like get the Eucharist ready. As he's walking behind the altar, and if you've ever been in Resurrection, the altar's like up these amazing like marble steps, and then there is a giant oculus for the roof, so it's a giant skylight that just shines down on the altar, and like it's really cool. Like especially in the morning, like it's really lit. The altar and the tabernacle is glowing, and when there's a big mural behind. I love the church that I grew up in. Anyway, as he's walking up there, I have this dream that he just falls out. Like luckily doesn't hit his head on the altar, but he like falls behind the altar as he's like walking behind there, not like tripped, like he like passed out or something. I had this dream 3 different times. And then one Wednesday morning, like months later, exactly step for step like I dreamt it, he fucking fell out. Going to do the blessing of the gifts, or like behind the altar.
Jesus.
It freaked me though. I was like in second grade, maybe third grade. It freaked me the fuck out, dude. Like, why would I have been shown that?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I think I'd even told my parents, I'm like, I keep having this crazy dream about Father Bob falling out, like it's really, really strange, And they're like, well, same type thing. Well, dreams are weird, hon, like, and then it happened. That shit was so crazy to me. But going back to that moment of contemplation that they didn't really highlight, I remember somebody explaining to me that like the whole point of the mass, like if you didn't get any, if you don't get anything else, be witness to the bread turning into the body and the wine turning into the blood, and really just like think that, and for us, we used to have this stupid little pissant bell that was just like ting, 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 ting.
We had the 5
then
bells.
we got this, it was like, actually ours was like a 8 bell. It was like 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 as a cross.
Yeah.
And dude, when you spun it, And I was like, so whenever that thing came in and that whole little magic was happening, because my dad would talk about like when our parents were in school, church was still done in Latin, so you didn't even recognize much of anything. But like, understand what's happening here. This is what the cornerstone of our faith. And as a kid, I made it super fucking magical. I was so into that shit.
Yeah, totally.
But now looking back on it and understanding how valuable contemplation and meditation is, after the spiritual leader of your neighborhood, of your tribe, gives a talk for the whole village to think about, should probably take a couple of minutes and actually think about what we just the story. However you want to take it. You want to take it literally, fine, but think of it as a parable. Think of it as a lesson. What's the lesson there? Let's sit with that. Anywho.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. That's fucking.
Since I was a little kid, my first vivid one, I was in Crestwood Mall walking by the glass elevator, and a woman in a long red dress was going up the elevator. 2 days later, it happened exactly how I had seen it in my dream.
Yeah, man.
Shit is wild. I also had this weird tendency to know when my name was going to be called over the loudspeaker, because I came in second 3 years at CBC. And then it gets to the point where it's like, did you ever think...
For what, your grades?
Did I do that? Hold on real quick. I'll cut into my own story. Did you ever think I did that to him with having him fall out?
100%.
Yeah. So with the
like I
name
willed
calling,
it into existence.
I thought I was willing
unwillingly.
it in. I came in second. We would raffle off a car every year. One was a Firebird, the Trans Am with the Ram Air.
Hell yeah, dude.
One was
Formula?
a Honda S2000. And then the other one was like an Aztec or something. I remember being like,
if I would have got the Aztec,
dude,
listen, but like an Aztec compared to an S2000 or a Formula,
they were like new too. And we're like, what's an S2000? So, but I would be like, my name's gonna come out of that speaker box. But that kind of ties into the simulation and the multiverses. If you are having these echoes, it could be the simulation revealing itself to you. It could be the mathematical equations that make up everything. Because if you start looking at the flower of life and the shapes it makes, the shape that old boy had, Sturgill had at his feet.
Sri Vidyantra?
Yes, you start looking into all these ancient shapes and you're like, oh, if they're all repeating. So eventually you might get a glimpse of something as it's rotating or doing something, which would explain some of the deja vu and some of the things that we are experiencing in this variation of ourselves
100%.
right now.
Good stuff. Repeat. Same life again with no memory of your last one. Universe expands and contracts as it begins to expand again. All the same events, including your thoughts, experiences, and decisions, repeat. You don't remember that all of this had happened before, although sometimes deja vu makes you wonder.
It's interesting. Because everything does have like that breathing cycle.
That's the creation and destruction type thing. That's what I'm kind of talking a little bit. Kind of what I'm talking about. That's crazy, like a Groundhog Day situation. But it wouldn't be Groundhog Day without
knowing,
without having the one character that knows it's different. And maybe that is happening. Maybe that's why we have mystics that I don't know this thing on here. Maybe that's why we have mystics that are in tune and have answers for things. They are able to get themselves to a place of knowing outside of this body that whenever it attaches again, like they bring, and I think that everybody has that to an extent. Like there's a lot of old souls, a lot of wisdom that comes out of, dude, our buddy, the Gospel of Luke, one of our favorite podcasts we ever did. When I met him, I thought he was, at least our age. He doesn't look it, but he might be a vampire. But like,
Luke.
One of these guys that like has a lot of old world ancient wisdom. When he talks, like he has my attention, and then I find out he's fucking 10 years younger than me, and I was like, at the time when I first met him, he was like 20 years old. I'm like, what is the deal with that?
Fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. New game. Same life repeats, only this time you remember everything. Similar to the rules in Groundhog Day, Chrono Trigger, Bastion, and Fez. I promise I didn't look at these, and like I feel like I'm like I was just talking about. That's weird. Anyway, after exhausting your pursuit of base desires, you realize that true bliss in life comes from living in the present moment and serving others.
I like that.
New game, sweet.
New game, sweet. I like new game.
I like new game.
I also thought as a kid, I thought there was like a soul conveyor belt. So when women were on Earth having babies, the next soul that was in line went to that baby, and then
didn't they
another
do that
baby.
in Pixar? Is that how that worked?
I don't know. Maybe.
I gotta rewatch that one.
That's what I thought really as my childhood. I was like, oh, it's just
that one checks. That checks for me.
Always instilled a sense of peace in me, though. because I knew I could never really join the military because I knew this secret that me and this kid from Iraq were just possibly born at November 15, 1983, 6:33. He was born at 6:34, and we could have been switched if our souls up in the air were in different spots. So how can I really hate him when it's just a fact of our soul entering this vessel? I have no ill will against him.
Sure.
Because it's just the luck of the draw where our souls went. You could be the
That's
soul.
interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought as a kid, and I'm like, oh.
You know, I mean, a lot of people think that, like, that you know, when you talk about your kids, like, no, your kids chose you, you know, like, and I like that idea. Like, the soul is like, I've got some lessons to learn, and I kind of subscribe a little bit to, like, people, like, maybe you start choosing. Anytime things get hard here, I think, well, if I was up there and then I got tired of being up there, I'd choose to come back and play the game. And I've already beat the game a couple of different ways. So you kind of want to experience it. If we're all just these little mirrors of the cosmos and we're reporting back to source, like with a new experience each time and expanding that knowledge with the breadth of our experience, then, like, you know, you would probably start choosing. Like, people were always like, where's God whenever these horrible things happen to these kids? And it's a valid question. Like, I've felt that way many times when something that I love or something I could at least see deserves love gets everything but it. But when you put that in a frame, and there is an argument that this is toxic positivity, but also it's just maybe looking at things a little bit.
Positivity is a thing.
Oh, sure. I mean, and that's it's a real thing. Like, I agree with it. Like, there are people who allow really heinous things to happen and, like, try to put a positive spin on it. Like in a almost manipulative / hypnotizing way or something, you know what I mean? Like, without actually recognizing the problem and trying to fix it. It just kind of just threw, like, a fucking blanket over it or something, you know? But I mean, I recognize that all of that. I'm not trying to explain away anyone's trauma in that regard, but maybe there is a situation where you're like, man, I lived as a prince, and that was awesome, and I lived as a slave, and that was really hard and it was awful. But I remember how much I loved my wife and my kids, or the work was I was tortured, but I do remember that. I'll never forget the smell of that magnolia tree. Like, I didn't get that when I was a prince,
I had,
or whatever that was. Like, whatever. Like, when you report all of that back to, like, this is really us buying into, we're all a part of the same thing, and if we subscribe to that even a little bit, then we understand that all of our experience is, like, growing that neural network, is growing the understanding on a basic level, and that requires all of the data input. That requires all of the good things and all of the bad things. And I was talking just today about a friend of mine who was like, if he wasn't a billionaire, he was on track to be a billionaire. And he ended up shooting himself in the face eventually. And, you know, trigger warning. But like he ended up, you know, offing himself. And it's like he lived for so long without, like, having experienced so much without ever really finding that center. Or like, you know, being present in the moment. Like, it was always this life of indulgence and not really being told no. And, like, you know, like, it sounds great to people who haven't done it.
For sure.
But then there is a point when you can take things that you love and it turns into torture.
Yep.
You know, like my former spouse, I felt for her so bad when she had to go to just an all steak diet, and, like, people were like, well, that doesn't sound so bad. Well, yeah, do it every day, twice a day, eat nothing but steak. And tell me if at some point you don't take something that you love and learn and like, just
fucking bread, man.
Let me lick some sugar, you know, whatever, you know, like, and so, like, there is something to be said for balance and, you know, needing a little bit of struggle to really appreciate, you know, needing the space between the notes to appreciate the music.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of music out there that's fucking noise.
Yep, and it was just like...
It's just all over the place, you know, and you never really get to sit in between those notes and be like, oh. And there's some artists that are masterful with, like, the space between the notes, where you're like, it's got you anticipating where this line is going to go. It's so great. I think that is, like, the difference in, like, true master of their craft musicians is like
No doubt. Draw you
at
in.
some point all of these people can play the most
Yeah.
intricate scales and
Yep.
chords.
Yep.
So what starts to happen is figuring out how to manipulate space with sound,
Yep.
and that looks like a lot of quietness.
And having your frequency flow through the instrument you are putting out there, your soul coming through the music.
Simulation.
We're here.
We're-
I do love the art on this one.
It's really cool. Your whole life was part of a simulation that you designed. Even the concept of designing something or the concept of concepts was something you created.
What's that dog chewing on?
There is no real world. There's only you. That's not how I understood the simulation, but that's a cool way of thinking about the simulation.
Sorry, you want to read that for me?
100,000,000%.
I had to make sure.
Yeah, I didn't know what
Dog
was going on
chewing
either. I thought he was
through
playing
the
marbles.
holes.
Your whole life was part of a simulation that you designed. Even the concept of designing something or the concept of concepts was something you created. There is no real world. There's only you. That's not how I've ever thought about the simulation.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always thought about it as it being created by
a
an
game,
external
yeah,
force, and I'm just like an NPC.
Yeah,
in it.
that's interesting.
So, like, if the simulation is now all of a sudden like, well, I guess on some level, again, going back to universal consciousness, that would be the idea.
Yeah.
That is how that works. And though you and I are waking up in the simulation, we're both,
Yes.
represented by the same creator, which is kind of just a technobabble way of saying God.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
All right. I'm not working on during the show.
The simulation being something you created yourself is an interesting thought too, because I've kind of been struggling with what if no one else is real? And it is because that video of the DMT, the people smoking DMT, and then seeing the layers of reality in source code as if it were a simulation.
With the laser?
With the diffused laser. It being
What
able
is
to-
that about?
So that has really struck a chord with me because tripping is weird. Sleeping is weird. Tripping is weird. Thank you, Morgan. What is tripping? What is going to sleep? Because one of the studies we've been following for a while is we talked about a while ago is the one where the patients who were near death took mushrooms and they immediately had a sense of like, oh, okay, well, I know this isn't exactly it, so I have a much safer sense of passing into the great beyond. I feel more at peace with it. So there is something weird happening when we're tripping, and if we're in the simulation and now all the kids even are saying it like, oh, these are all NPCs, I'll never know anybody else is real except myself. I'll never be able to enter someone else's realm,
and you'll never know what their experience is.
I'll never.
You'll
know
only
their
know how
essence.
you viewed their
Yes,
experience.
Yes.
You won't know what they saw. You won't. We can both be looking at this, and it might not be. It's not the same.
Well, that's
We're
the
both,
crazy
you
thing
know,
with
like-
the election. I see things in such a vivid one way where I'm like, I think the deep state's trying to take over. But people I know, love, and respect are like,
I think they're struggling to hold on. Is what
it's
it is.
wild,
They-
dude.
I think that
people are
they-
seeing.
I
The
think
same
that it's.
things,
I think that the
totally
Truman Show
different.
has been exposed, and I think that there are people that are very comfortable inside of it.
Yeah.
And a threat to that is a threat to their comfort.
Oh, for sure.
And there is a very different sect of people who are trying to actively be uncomfortable because they know that they're growing in discomfort, and that voice is growing. It's great. Like, I think people are starting to realize that indulgence
got
and
work to
comfort
do, yeah.
has made us soft and
Yep.
maybe not as enterprising.
Yes.
And so I think that there are people that understand that there's a lot to gain from pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. And I think that the deep state and the government, the federal government, or world governments, I think that they understand that the more comfort that you can provide, Like there's a really nice balance, or a really thin balance, where they're like trying to provide as much comfort as they can while also trying to fuck you as hard as they can. And as long as the comfort is still there, you'll learn how to deal with this so it doesn't hurt so much.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it goes.
Yep.
And then there's other people who are like, I'm not playing this fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sit in really cold fucking water.
Yep.
And I'm going to do things that are really hard. I'm going to run ultra marathons because
I'm going to test myself.
Because it makes my brain stronger and makes me see how much of a fucking farce all of this is. Dude, I talk about it on here all the time. I am still blown away how little of a footprint sports have on my life now, considering how big of a footprint that I did. But now I'm like bowling on Monday nights with my uncles, and they've got football on the screens and shit. And how many people are fucking locked into it? And I'm like, people just don't realize how much of themselves they're giving away. And I understand the argument for it. People are like, well, I have a very stressed life. This is something that gives me happiness.
Sure.
I get it. That's fine. But also there are a lot of things that would eliminate that stress from your work and all the other time that would also contribute to your growth as a person and your evolution of your mind and your body, if you weren't just waiting to watch other people play a game.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm dogging on sports. Sports were my whole life for 30
No, it's like
fucking
a
years.
drug. You can go overboard on that shit.
You
Like
can.
when I did
used to
fantasy
know-
football,
dude, I used to
it
know
was
every
dumb.
fucking minor leaguers fucking stats.
Yep.
And
it
fucking
does
high school
take up a
prospects.
ton
Are you
of it.
kidding me?
Yep. We
Like,
had them on the show for the James Station. We
1,000,000%.
We knew who was in the system.
I kind of freaked out at the second MoCam BizCon. I was dressed up in a fancy red dress for the after party, and as I was descending down the staircase, my long Crestwood best friend was at the bottom of the staircase. It made me think of the deja vu incident I had when I was 7. Oh, that's... In my view, money is just an amplifier. It makes people more of what they already are, good or bad human. I tend to agree with that. If you can simulate it, you can solve it.
Yeah. I think,
I think so too. What's this one? Live on in your child's mind. Your awareness shifts. Oh, this is an interesting one. Your awareness shifts into that of your child's mind. You don't control any of your child's delusions.
No, decisions. Nor
Decisions.
Do they know
Oh,
that
gotcha.
You're in there. You just witness their life as it were a movie. After they die, you both move on to the next child's mind, and so on and so on. Ancestral
cool.
stuff exists.
I
dude.
mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I think that's part of what's
I have
with
some
America.
peace in that.
That there's no like ancestral core here to the land.
Well, I think that's the thing. How well do you know your great-great-grandfather's story?
Yeah, not well.
I don't.
Not well.
I don't know my great-great-grandfather's story. I barely know a little bit about my great-grandfather. My grandparents were older, but it feels like back in the day, it was like these were passed on knowledge. These are the lessons that your forebears learned. And this is, we don't have to relearn this part because this is what they did and this is what worked. And I think that was really important then because we didn't move too far outside of our general sphere. And people didn't, and governments or whatever didn't have that much influence. You could become a fucking duke or whatever. You could be a land baron and have your own little space. And for the most part, nobody's going to fuck with you. There's only a few million people in the world,
You'd have your own little fiefdom.
That's pretty interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is that it?
I think that's it. All right.
All right. What are we at? 240?
Yeah, we
oh,
ran
shoot.
long.
I loved having these conversations, dude.
It was a good deep one. Do we even still have anybody here? We have a lot of people still here.
36 of you weirdos still in here? Good golly, Miss Molly. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. Maybe I'll post a YouTube link in the morning, so in case you missed the show tonight, you're just checking in, you can rewatch in the morning.
We didn't get to that. We'll just do that next time.
You want to do it real quick at the end here?
Sure, we can.
All right, I gotta we'll do something fun here at the end.
Okay.
We might have to move the couch out of the way.
Oh, because of the green screen?
You're going to have to stand up.
Okay.
So, Craig, today something made me think. I made a joke. James Thomas was talking about putting subliminal messages into all of our videos. And I said yes.
As if we never entertained that idea.
Yes, everybody's seen Craig's cock like 1,000 times because I've just been throwing it subliminally into messages. So it made me think of this bit where maybe you put on a wig, get juiced up a little bit.
Okay.
And I'll move this couch. And what we're gonna do is, we had acting school before. Craig's a salesman. He's a master of his craft. And if you need anything with your name printed on it or anything like that, this is your guy right here. He likes to do small orders of really meticulous stuff. So
run that thing
up, I'm gonna run it up because I have a green screen on the ceiling now. Are you standing straight up?
No.
We're good. All right. So what we're going to do is Craig is going to try to sell you on some items.
Okay.
And it's called Craig's Cocks, and he's going to be selling you roosters. Let's see if you guys would buy any roosters from our guy Craig here. I'm going to go jump into the cockpit.
Okay. I just got to sell you a cock?
You do your best. I'm going to flash some up there. And
This is a fucking mess.
Here he is down on the farm. Bing, ding, 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 bong, ding, 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 ding. He's on the farm. Ding, 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 ding. First chicken up for sale.
Oh, this here is a lavender silky chicken. Now, this isn't just any chicken. Okay. This right here comes with, it comes with a nice little warranty. Okay. But we'll save that for later. They call this the old purple cock in the Pittsburgh area. That's where they're bred. Listen, here's the deal. Are you gonna go overseas to get your cock? You want some homegrown cock, okay? Because this is a nice. This right here. It's okay. I'll be honest with you. At $149, it seems a little steep, right? But you're gonna get a lot of miles out of this cock. You can ride this cock into the sunset. It's a beautiful purple cock by the time it's fully grown, and I want to put you. Who's
gonna buy this lavender silky chicken?
Listen. Let me sell you some purple cock. All right?
All right, next one.
Oh, one of my favorites. The Indio Gigante. Okay? This right here is the world's tallest chicken. And you might be thinking, what do I need the world's tallest chicken for? Well,
exactly.
Is that what you're thinking? What do I need a tall chicken for? Well, let me tell you what you need a tall chicken for. It's called super genetics. Okay? This right here, I'm going to stud this cock. Okay? We're going to stud this cock. We're going to start breeding some champion cocks. Now, in some parts of the world, very frowned upon here in the United States, but it's like MMA, but for chickens. Okay? Kind of like that. And they also have blades. And it's celebrated in different parts of the world. Okay? What I'm selling you right here is a look at him.
I don't know. You don't have to tell.
What are you gonna do? Listen, I'm not saying you should be a cockfighter, but I'm saying it's illegal, especially here in the States. But if you know anybody that participates, look at this, dude. I'm all roostered up. So, all I'm saying is, don't be a cockfighter. That's inhumane. But there is a market here. $79. And you could get 2 of these for the price of 1 purple cock.
What does this stand for?
What's that? Oh, the FLF new imported bloodline. Future League fornicating chicken. And so what that is, okay, this is a studding chicken.
You just talked about fighting.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't come up with Future League fighting.
Future League fornicator.
No, this is a studding chicken. This isn't your fighter. You just want his genetics, right? You want to breed him with a nice little squat kind of land race chicken, okay? You get him, okay? You breed him with a nice little hen that's a little bit wider, okay? Now you got yourself a champion. Now that's an unsexed one. Now I came here to sell you cock, but I can't promise it, okay? I can't promise it's going to be good cock, all right? You may get a hen in there. These are unsexed. It's also $79, a great value. You could probably snag one of these up with the Indio, and you got 2 chickens for the price of 1 of the initial purple cocks. And at this point I'm selling value, right? Yeah. The silkies, they're a little uppity. They're kind of like you've seen Paris Hilton carrying a Yorkie around in the purse. Well, you got a chance to be a trendsetter with your silky in your purse. You can carry your purple cock anywhere you want. This is 2024. Okay, here's the deal. This one here Guys, $99. We're talking about we're not for less than triple digits. How much do you need me to fucking say? Okay? Arguably one of the prettiest cocks in the land. Okay? You know, people talk about peacocks a lot of times, but the Inagadori, okay? The Inagadori at less than $100 is a dude. It's a fucking bargain. It's a bargain. Come down to Craig's cock stand and get you an Inagadori. Look at this thing, $99.
I should have put the Craig's cock on the other side.
Oh, we're back to the old silkies. Okay, now here's the deal. I don't like where the price is at on this. Here's what we want to do. We're going to go back to the breeding conversation. Okay, remember the tall one? Okay. Well, we're going to get him hooked up with the fast one. Okay? This right here, look, it's a beautiful black cock. I said it. It's a beautiful black cock. Is that what you want me to say? How hard do I need to sell that? It sells itself. It sells itself at $79. Buy a whole mess of them.
Look at the reviews.
Oh, the reviews on it are great. Let's see. This one, Jessica says, it's the best chicken purchase I've ever made. Anybody else? Guys, come on down to Craig's Cock Farm. Okay? I'm slinging cock, and I'm slinging it for the right price.
What more do you want?
What more do you want? I gotta put the hard sell on. Did you see the rainbow fucking thing?
Do we stand up and play?
Yeah.
I don't have a strap.
I don't think I do either. We'll sit back down. I'll push it over.
Hey,
good show, guys.
That was fun. That was fun. We had fun.
Ooh, I love that cock. Oh, Shruti. Oh, Shruti. Shruti, Fruity. Oh, Rudy. Shruti, Fruity. If you can simulate it, you can say, ooh, I love that cock.
Oh,
I read that
guys.
like Batman. Love that Joker. That's the best Batman. It's still the best Batman. Look, I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but the original, Michael Keaton.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
that Joker.
Michael Douglas, his name is actually.
It's his real name. You fucking really took me on a journey with that.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a song. You guys got any requests? I did have a strap, by the way.
You did. Oh.
You guys got any requests? It's been a late one tonight. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, we went long tonight. We were having too good of discussions.
What you got?
Want to try the Authority song?
Pick another melody.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that one.
I fight the authority always wins.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I do know that one. All right, we can try that. Try that one.
I don't know.
Guys, 10 o'clock, we did it.
Come on out October 26th and
This
hear us
Saturday.
struggle through
This
songs.
Saturday, 2 days.
Oh, Kevin Benson is in the chat? Fucking right, dude. Do we have any Michael McDonald in the bag? I could play Don't You Forget About Me.
We can definitely play Don't You Forget About Me.
No,
Michael McDonald.
no.
Kevin Benson.
Kevin
God,
Benson, dude.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's see what.
Sucking on chili dog. Outside the taste of freeze. Sucking on chili dogs. Outside chili dogs. Oh, sucking on some chili dogs. Sucking on chili dogs. Sucking chili dogs. Don't let it rock. Let it roll. Let the Bible bell go and save my soul. Hold on to it. Should we just sing it? Sure. We'll just do that.
Yeah, Kevin
Sorry,
Benson,
Kevin.
you stop
Yeah.
throwing us off, dude.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Sucks, bro.
You come in here and you
I'll
just
come throw rocks at you.
Yeah,
while you're
come
mowing.
on, dude. Little ditty by Jack and Diane. Two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jack is gonna be a football star. Diane debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Sucking on chili dog outside the tasty freeze. Diane sitting on Jackie's lap, his hands on her knees. Jackie says, hey Diane, come on, man, shady tree. Dribble off Bobby Brooks, let her do what he please. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, I said life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on. How does that part go? Jackie sits back, collects his thoughts for a moment, scratches his head and does his best James Dean. Well, they're dying, we gotta run off to the city. Diane says, baby, you ain't missing the thing. But Jackie says, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, I said life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on. Do 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 do. Let it rock, let it roll, let the Bible bell come and save my soul. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Change will come around real soon, make us women and men. I'll walk on. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. A little ditty by Jack and Diane. Two American kids doing
Fucking song. What? We've literally never played that.
We never played it. They never knew. They never knew. They never knew.
Craig's cowlick is killing me. Do you know any Zack Attack songs?
Oh yeah, we do.
Friends forever will be
friends until the end. When you know, friends. I do know. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. I'm so Cowabunga.